Hello and welcome to the Luckycast. This is episode 18, part 3, and we're doing, once again, our Anime of the Year awards. I'm your host, DeoxysPrime, and we got Funk here with me.
Yes, I'm here, of course.
Still here. We still got Frank.
Yeah, I'm still here.
We got Kenny.
We do.
Apparently. We got Collin.
I know I let you down.
You always do. And we got Matt.
I got popcorn.
He does have popcorn. We heard it popping.
Apes are popping.
I'm kind of jealous. I want some popcorn.
You can go get some at any time, Kenny, but for now, we got to do this shit. We got 4 more awards. We got our personal Anime of the Year awards. We got our favorite anime character of the year. We got worst anime of the year, and of course, we have best anime of the year. But I'm going to start things off with the personal anime awards of the year, and this is something I came up with. I challenged everyone to come up with their own awards and give it out to whatever they want. They could be as creative or as boring as they wanted to with these awards. It's fine. And I'm interested to see what you guys came up with, but I'm going to go first here.
All right, lay it on us.
So my
Talk
first
it to me.
My first award is the Fun Dio Award for Best Soundtrack of the Year. And I gave this to My Hero Academia. The OST for the show is done by Yuki Hayashi, and if you're not familiar with him, that's okay. But he's done the soundtracks to Haikyuu and Gundam Build Fighters, both of which were fucking fantastic. And you can hear a lot of similarities here. There aren't a lot of shows like I'll go out of my way to listen to the soundtrack, like outside of the anime, but this is one of the shows where as soon as it came out, I wanted to go listen to it. It was really good and like set the mood perfectly for that show. Next up...
Can I interject here? Because I have a very similar award to give.
Sure, go ahead.
So I have the Fua Fua Time Award for Best Non-OP, Non-ED Song.
You could have just said... they're called insert songs.
Well, I wanted to give it a cute name, Steve. Piece of shit. Which I just wanted to give to Tsumugi's Shark Song.
Oh my god.
Nazuma.
Repre fucking Zen.
Yeah, right? Anyway, continue, Steve.
Okay, I got the LTTP award for Best 2015 Anime that I didn't watch until 2016. And this goes to Origairu Zoku, and I created this award just to be able to talk about this show. Since I didn't talk about it last year, no one talked about this show on the podcast. And it is not only is one of the best anime of 2015, it's one of the best anime I've ever watched, period. Like, I watched this back in February, and I immediately, upon finishing it, had to gush about it in the CT. It resonated with me on an emotional level that very few anime actually do. And since then, Frank has watched it, and Collin has watched it. And I know Kenny had already watched it.
Wait, what anime?
Origairu. Don't make me say the English fucking title.
My teen romantic comedy snafu.
Snafu.
And we never talked about it, so I don't know if Frank or Collin wanted to say anything about it either.
Yeah, I just want to say, this much like Sailor Moon Crystal, the discrepancy between the first season and the second season for Origairu for me is outrageous.
Huge step up.
Yeah, it's well, they totally rehauled their studio. They had a new director. They had a new everything. It was out of this world, and you can tell even the quality of the writing was such a massive step up for me. I was so much more enthralled by the second season, and the fact that I was sitting through the first season, and I'm just like, oh, when the hell is this going to get good? And just I was absolutely not disappointed, which is a rarity for me, honestly. I was very impressed by the second season. The first season was a bit weak, but as a lot of people here like to make fun of me for, it really got to the main meat and potatoes in the second part. And I was most certainly not disappointed.
Any words, Collin?
Well, I actually still enjoyed the first season quite a bit. I still think that there was a surprising amount of depth to our nihilistic, sardonic hero of the story.
8-man.
8-man. I was just expecting him to be another audience self-insert who waxes philosophical. But he ended up being having a surprising amount of depth that I enjoyed. And obviously, season 2 capitalizes on that, and they give a lot more depth to all the other characters as well. Well, a lot of people think that season 2 gets a little too dramatic, but that's part of the reason that I like the character of Iroha so much, that she's there to still keep things kind of light and keep the romantic comedy snafu aspects into the story rather than my melodramatic. Wait, what is this? Introspective finding of self.
No, I think
awakening
that...
of self. That's what the second season should be called, which is still very good. It's still very good, and I like it more than the first season. Don't get me wrong, and it's definitely quite a bit prettier. So,
I think that
one
of the second season's strengths is that it really knows how to balance its lighthearted moments with its more dramatic moments, and it's a really good mark of quality of the show, that it knows when to pull its punches and when to go full throttle at you. So
also
really
the girls are cute. So.
Yes,
Yes,
they are.
this is one of the few shows that actually made me give a shit about teen high school romance drama.
Oh my
So-
god! Wait, guys! You want to hear something fucking wild?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. Let's hear it.
All right. Did you guys know that Steve's favorite girl in this show is the flat-chested one?
Wow.
Oh my god.
Again, speaks to how good this show is.
Oh my god. I don't know what to say. Everything I know is a lie.
I'm glad you brought that up, Colin. And I don't mean to undersell the first season either. It was good. It's just this is one of the very few shows that I actually went and rewatched immediately after finishing it for the first time. And the first season was a bit of a slog to get through at times, although it has its moments. But the second season was just a joy all the way through both times I watched it.
I mean, the first
so.
season was fine. I mean, I thought it was a little weak personally, but it wasn't like unbearable or anything
No.
like that. I just thought it was okay, but such a clear step up in quality between the first season and the second. Like, honestly.
Yep. All right.
I have a similar award to that, actually. I have a best shows that I watched in 2016 that didn't air in 2016.
Uh-huh.
I
And
wanted to do one for that too.
yeah, and I have a top 5 for that one. Number 5, Gankutsuo. Number 4, number 4, Paranoia Agent. Number
Ooh,
3, yeah. Oh my fucking god! Paranoia Agent. Oh. Now all of these shows, just because I'm
We don't have all night, Frank.
Yeah, we really don't.
But just because I'm ranking them doesn't mean that I necessarily like one above the other.
No.
All of these shows are at the list are fucking excellent.
Yeah.
So 4 is Paranoia Agent. Fucking oh my god. 3 is Hyoka, which I had dropped in 2012, and I thought that was the biggest fucking mistake of my life. What a phenomenal fucking show. 2 is Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant, a classic, and number 1 is Hunter x Hunter, the 2011 one. Really good, very solid shonen. Worth the 148 episode slog because it's really fucking great.
Did you say you had something similar, Matt?
Yeah, I wanted to do one that was like a best shows I watched in 2016 that didn't air in 2016. And boy,
Yeah,
did I
so-
watch
so-
a lot of shows.
so
I
similar.
actually I made like every month I wrote down all the shows that month that I watched. I just went on a giant spree this year. Many of those shows were Kiorani shows, as I mentioned before, which I still unfortunately was not able to finish. But let me tell you, I had watched 73 shows last year that were not
Wow,
shows that were not shows airing that year.
Nice.
Let's clap it up for Matt.
Good answer.
Holy fucking
But
shit!
yeah, so I'm just gonna list them off from the top 3 I watched. I kind of technically Cowboy Bebop should be on this list, but I kind of technically watched it before when it was airing on like, Adult Swim. So I'm just gonna nix it since I already knew it was good. So fuck it. So number 1 is Serial Experiments Lane. which is fucking amazing.
Can't wait to watch that, honestly.
Number
excited.
2 is Gekken Shoujo Nozaki-kun,
Good show.
Yes.
which
As
is
Yes.
we all know,
just
this is the
terrible.
most powerful
And
anime
Steve.
of
the
all
greatest
time.
Kenny, I
anime of all
fucking-
time,
Shut
as
the
we
fuck
has
up.
determined as it is also the greatest anime of all time, as we have all determined as a group.
Kenny,
via
I've
votes.
seen the show. You can stop with the fucking meme. It's been like 3 years now.
And number 3, which technically is like a first and second season that really should be combined. Technically, it's basically like a 3-core show that they split where they split the last core into a separate season that aired like about a year after the first season ended. But anyways, it's Kimi ni Todoke, which is a romantic comedy shoujo that's actually like it's not listed as a comedy, but it's probably one of the funniest shows I've ever watched, despite not technically being a comedy. It's hilarious.
That's the one with the girl that looks like she's from The Ring, right?
Yeah, that's the whole aspect of her character is basically that everybody calls her name is Sawako, but everybody nicknames her Sadako, which is the character of the girl from The Ring, and she looks like her because she has really long black hair, and she doesn't really smile a lot because she's like she's super quiet and shy and everything. And basically the whole show is just about her kind of grabbing the attention of this super popular guy, and it just kind of expands upon their relationship as the show goes on. But it's done it's kind of like the exact opposite of how Ori Monogatari goes, where in Ori Monogatari the romance just like in the 3rd episode they're together.
Yeah.
In this show, they don't get together until like the very end of the last core of the show.
Oh my god.
Like not even in the first season. The first 25 episodes of the show, they don't even get together.
I mean, one of the things that I really liked about Ori Monogatari is the fact that the cuckening was over relatively quickly.
Yeah,
so,
but this show's strengths is in its characters.
Right.
And all the characters in the show are amazing. They're all great. I think one of the best aspects of the show is that one of the main characters is this girl these 2 girls that are basically they're kind of like they're gairus.
Yeah, right.
But they're not stereotypical gairus. They're like really well developed, interesting, helpful characters that actually become the main character's best friend, and it's the most
Gakko-chan?
Yeah. It's the most it's kind of like how in Galko-chan, how she kind of becomes friends with the nerdy girl. It's like it's that completely like you never expect to see these people as best friends, but they become best friends, and it's just a really really cute, comfy, nice show.
That sounds sweet.
Okay,
Sounds
so
like a real
I'm
winner.
done. It is. You'd probably hate it though, Steve, since it's a shoujo.
I probably would, but I am me. I am all of me.
Oh wow, kill yourself, man.
Can't hear no, speak no evil.
All right.
Black writing's on the wall.
Okay, let's stop.
Next up is my specialty. We have the Tits Are Life Award for Best Boobs of the Year.
Oh no.
Shout out to Galko-chan, I-chan from Twawa, Wheeze from Konosuba, and all the other well-endowed women of 2016.
We all know who won this.
We all know. There's a clear winner, and it's Ryoka Narusawa from Occultic 9.
Oh no.
Our girl, baby.
They are really, really, really big, and I like it.
I mean, you posted a GIF of her just jumping, and it's almost just physically implausible that someone could maintain that posture.
Would you say that is the most implausible thing in Occultic 9, Funk?
I might, actually.
It's up there.
It looks physically painful.
Yeah, but she's just having a good time, so...
She is.
Yeah.
Despite, like, her chronic back pain.
She's young, it's not gonna matter at that point.
Oh, okay. Occultic 9 in 5 years. She's just in a wheelchair.
It's gonna be a good 5 years, though.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, next up, we have the Gate Season 2 award for show I completed but most forgot existed. The winner is Gate Season 2. I'm sorry, Kenny. Like I was one of the few who liked Gate, but if you told me that second season aired this year, I wouldn't have believed you. Like I completely forgot that show aired. I completely forgot to put it on all my anime lists.
I'm just gonna state it right now, again, as I did before we started this. I hate every single one of you,
Oh, even me, Kenny?
except for Frank.
We're boys.
But we love you, Kenny.
Thank you.
At
So,
what point were you
fucking
reminded
bullshit.
of Gate?
How can you for?
I don't know. I think maybe Funk or one of you guys brought it up just casually or something. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, that actually aired this year.
So I have an award here. The DFC award for best cups,
Oh my god.
Okay.
which goes to Luck and Logic
Oh my god.
for its square cups.
No one fucking cares about that.
So
shit.
since you brought that up, Funk,
Mhm.
I have to go to this next award. It's the Admiral Bone to Pick Award for Least Subtle Moment of 2016. And it was actually a tie. And one of them was the square cups from Luck and Logic. Because nothing screams, this is the future, like square cups. Like, they don't even try to rationalize, like, this may be more ergonomic or whatever. They're
They're
just
just
fucking...
square.
They're for square for no reason, other than shitty fucking direction. But
Tied
the thing that's tied with is a moment from Big Order, and Big Order is going to show up a lot on these awards. But it's the part where they introduce a character whose power is to literally destroy all the nuclear weapons on the planet.
Oh.
Not stopping the process of nuclear fission or anything, mind you. Just her power is just literally to get rid of nuclear weapons. And
Wait.
the character was from Hiroshima.
Uh,
It's like, come on. We
Wait,
get it,
Steve.
Japan. You're sensitive about this, but stop it.
Steve, I can't believe that you have an award for least subtle things, and you forgot to mention the red eyes and the evil smile as he
Oh,
taps
shut the
on the
fuck
car
up,
and
Frank.
erased.
But
that's
Steve
pretty
likes
bad.
erased.
I know, but that, like, come on, like, that's not subtle. Oh, and they named the baby
Well, actually-
Mirai. Like, really?
Okay, shut up with the Mirai shit. Also, like, I didn't even notice that until you guys pointed it out, so it was subtle.
The red eyes and shit?
I
That
didn't
was
notice. I
subtle?
honestly did not notice while watching the show.
So I have an award here. The honorary Anime of the Year All Years Award, which goes to Catherine.
Yep. Good answer. Good answer.
Which has once again taken the prize,
Oh my
astoundingly.
For what? This is like the 5th year running?
Yeah, it's very strong. Next we have the quote absolute worst shit character of the year award,
Oh
which
my god.
goes to Nenechi from
Oh
New Game.
no! Stop bullying Nenechi.
She's garbage. If there was an award for most bullyable character, she'd also win that. But
You could have made one.
I could have, but I'd rather just call her out as being shit. Nenechi only existed to cause problems and be a dick. She stole the pudding from the fridge. She was the catalyst for that whole conflict.
She felt bad about it though.
No, Nenechi's garbage. Garbage.
But she found the glitch where you can look up panties of a character.
Garbage. And
Just not.
last personal award that I have here is the quote, "You guys are wrong and stupid," end quote award,
Okay.
which has several placings here. There's
Oh wow,
some,
really? Not just Big M, huh?
no, there's some honorable mentions. Honorable mentions is not enough of you watched Planetarian.
Yeah, I did.
But I watched
Some
that.
of you did, not all of you. Anything short of 100% is incorrect. More honorable mentions. Few people watched the stupid ping pong anime, Days, fucking Yuri on Ice, all these sports anime, and few people watched them, and they're fucking great. So you
I
can
watched
all
Ping Pong the animation.
That's right, Funk. Nobody anywhere watched Yuri on Ice.
Yes. Thank you,
just
Collin.
Matt and I. and now the show's not getting a second season because they had 2 viewers every week pirating their show. Third honorable mention is everybody in this chat being absolutely stone wrong about Mayuiga.
Okay.
And the winner for the You Guys Are Wrong and Stupid award is anybody who mildly liked Konobi, because Konobi sucks and
Wow.
No, Konobi was great.
Of all the hills to die on, you're gonna pick Konobi.
it was bad.
No, Konobi was great. And you
I
should,
legitimately forgot it existed like a few weeks after I watched it. Even
yeah,
though, like,
yeah, both of you can go fuck yourselves. And then,
good. It was good. It just wasn't that memorable.
oh my god.
Those are
I
my
mean, Usami was memorable because it was voiced by Chio.
it.
She.
Chio.
From Azumanga Daioh?
From
No.
from Nozaki-kun.
Oh.
All right.
This show
I
that
have-
Steve didn't watch.
So I got more awards to give out the big order. We have the Guillotine Gorilla Award for most what the fuck moment of the year.
How many of these fucking awards are you
Pronounced
gonna give?
guillotine, but that's fine.
Shut up, Colin. All right, and like there are like any number of things from the show that you could give this to, but it had to go to the hair ribbon pregnancy scene, where the main character pulls on the Shrine Maiden's hair ribbon,
Please.
causing her to instantly become pregnant, and then she goes from that to almost giving birth in the span of like 3 minutes or something like that.
Wait, what the fuck is this?
A big order.
Big order.
And
Oh my
then
God.
and then in like the next episode, the baby just goes away with no explanation.
Wasn't it like that she was just like pretending to be pregnant basically?
No, it wasn't even that.
No,
Like
she
she
was clearly pregnant.
she was physically pregnant, but then the baby just goes away for some reason. And
It wasn't even like a miscarriage?
Wouldn't that
No.
be nice?
like I'm not
That
doing
is-
this justice
that
by
is-
describing it.
that
It
is-
has to be seen to be believed.
I mean, the fact that the way
That
she
is-
gets pregnant is just
No.
her belly plumps up
Yes.
in an instant. It's all very surreal.
Mind you, this is also from the episode where it had the Japanese Prime Minister threatening to behead a child on TV while the entire country of Japan like chanted for his execution.
Sick.
Like that was all from episode 3. It's so insane. That show is something else.
Daily reminder that Steve finished Big Order.
I did.
Yeah,
So did
wait.
Kenny, I believe.
Yeah, I did. But what part are we talking about?
That
now?
was episode 3.
No, category.
That was most what the fuck moment of the year.
Oh,
We also-
we're still on the like random awards that we made up.
Yeah.
okay, I didn't do this, so
And that's okay, Kenny. You can just enjoy what I have here. We also have the Hitler Did Nothing Wrong Award for Most Misunderstood Character of the Year. That goes to Genai Hoshimiya, and he is the villain from Big Order. And his big bad plan was to give everyone in the world their own order, which would essentially create, for every person, their own personal universe where they could have whatever they want and be happy. And the main character opposes this for no reason. Oh my god,
They're not
this
living
show-
their lives correctly.
Dumbest fucking.
That's
shit.
essentially what it comes down to, except the show doesn't even try to justify it, other than something about how the main character wouldn't be happy that all the other parallel universe hymns wouldn't be the real him.
What?
Oh my god.
It makes as little sense as everything else in that show. We also have... what do we got here? We get the Please Stop Award for Worst Trend in Anime in 2016,
Oh no.
which goes for mobile phone game adaptations.
Yeah.
This includes anime that are made to promote an existing game, as well as ones that are launched alongside the game. And the two biggest offenders this year were Divine Gate and Endride.
This, this can't be worse than anime made in China.
See, I didn't
It's
watch
probably
any of
worse.
those. I knew right away. But see, that could be for 2017 if they keep that shit up.
That's
Probably
true.
will.
We'll check back in the year.
But like,
Yeah, that didn't really start until the end of the year.
yeah, but these two shows were just so offensively bad. I had to make a permanent rule. Just regardless of what people say or what the score is on Mel, I am not watching another show based on a mobile phone game. Because, video game adaptations into anime are already bad enough as it is, but you're scraping the bottom of the barrel here with these games that basically have no story and you're trying to turn into an anime.
Next season, boys, Grand Blue Fantasy. Let's do it.
Yeah, not happening. We have the Omega the Robot Award for Best Luckycast Quote of 2016. And I've got 5 quotes here, 4 honorary mentions, and the winner. And I'll give you the honorary mentions first. The first is from Frank from episode 13, I believe in reference to Space Patrol Luluco. Quote, "If this show is masturbatory, I'll lick the fucking jizz."
I don't regret saying that.
We have 2 quotes from the trial of Phantom World. That whole thing was great, but I had to pick out the 2 best quotes here. One is from Frank, who says, "My evidence is all over the place, excuse me." which I think about more often than you know. Like once a week.
What did you mean by this?
Once a week that quote comes up in my mind and I just have a chuckle at it. The other is from Kenny, who, when called to the stand and asked to give his name and occupation, says, "My name is DARPA Chief, and I'm the DARPA Chief."
We have fun on the Luckycast.
We also have, from episode 10, and I believe this is attributed to Collin, but I was never quite sure. Let me just read you what I wrote here, in square brackets. "Indecipherable bird noise."
That was Collin. I know that was Collin.
I'm glad you all remember that, because I think Matt was the only one who caught it at the time.
That was where I was the only one who noticed it, and then everybody else... Nobody else heard it, and I was so confused. And even Colin denied it.
Yeah, he tried to put it on me.
You guys believed me! You're all like, yeah, it's definitely Frank!
I mean, it seems like something Frank would do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I did it. I can't remember. I don't even know why I did it in the moment.
I'm glad you all remember that. But the winner of the Omega the Robot Award for Best Luckycast Quote of 2016 goes to Funk.
Yes!
Who,
we did it!
in episode 10, gave this description of Girls Beyond the Wasteland.
Oh
Quote,
no.
"If I gave people who needed to be out by 4 o'clock on a Friday the assignment of making a show, this is probably what they would turn out."
Oh, Kenny likes that show.
Y'all did good this year.
How did I not win? I am the DARPA Chief.
They were all good, Kenny. But there can only be one winner, and it was Funk.
That's right.
So I have 2 more awards. I have the "If They Don't Fuck, the Show Sucks" award for Best Yuri Couple. And this goes to Weiss Winter Prison and Sister Nana from Magical Girl Raising Project.
I have a similar award.
Despite all attempts of this show trying to get me not to like characters, I really like these 2 characters. And they deserve to be in a better show than this one, and I'm still pissed off about what happened to them in that show. And I do say, one of the qualifications for winning this award is they actually had to be fucking Yuri, and there is no doubt those 2 were raging lesbians, so
Yeah,
they
call.
absolutely take this award.
a good call.
What was yours, Frank?
Mine was their Just Good Friends award for the 2 girls that I wish were a Yuri couple the most.
Who could win this one?
So my 2 honorable mentions are Pikari and Dottie from Amanchu, and
Okay.
and Hanamaru and Yoshiko from Love Live Sunshine. And my winners are obviously Kumiko and Reina from Euphonium.
Maybe next year, Frank.
Maybe.
They're
Maybe
building up to it. It's totally going somewhere.
Maybe in Kumiko Love Story. Maybe.
Shuichi is our fucking guy.
He's the hashtag not my guy.
He's fucking my guy.
Okay, the last award I
Here
have
it comes.
is the Fuck You, I'm Right award for best show that only I loved.
Here we go.
And I'll qualify by saying this, like, I don't think... Oh, okay, one person in this show fucking hated... one person in this call hated the show, and the rest of you kind of indifferent, other than Ken, you kind of liked it. But I feel like I was the only one who really loved it, and that was Myriad Colors Phantom World.
Get that shit out of my face.
We need to reopen this case.
Get that shit out of my face.
You all know my feelings on KyoAni and what they've become. And
it was
this
fun.
is like
Was it?
This is one of the few shows that they've made that really appealed to me, and it was really unlike anything else that aired last year. I thought the show was fun. I thought the show was hilarious. It had one moment that I mentioned before that made me laugh harder than anything else last year. It's a good show. It is a good fucking show, and I don't care what anyone else says.
I completely disagree.
Because fuck you, I'm right.
Yeah, okay. All right, buddy boy. You can really enjoy that.
You lost the trial, Frank. Deal with it.
Just because I lost the trial doesn't mean
I'm undefeated, just like Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright lost the case. If you finished the anime, you'd know that.
No, he only lost on a technicality. It doesn't count.
His client was guilty. He lost the case.
Yeah, but he still won.
No, he didn't. He lost.
He won by losing.
Okay.
What do you mean he won by losing? His client was guilty. He lost the case.
I have an award for everybody.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, not for everybody. I just have an award for you guys. That's not what I meant. I don't know why I said that. I just wanted to get your attention. But
okay.
So the only other award I actually did think up beforehand was the Studios Who Found a Way award, or the best studios of the year, or at least studios who made the biggest impact for me. So number 3, we have MAPPA, obviously for none other than Yuri on Ice, for being absolute madmen and actually just going full gay, to the point where not only do they kiss, but they literally buy matching rings for one another and do a couples skate. Number 2, of course, has to go to KyoAni, for not just making a great sequel to the first season of Euphonium, but also for making the most fetish-filled show of all time with Phantom World.
Lest we forget Matt's list.
To the point where we are still finding them after the show aired and after I finish my list.
They're like dinosaurs. You still find a new one every year.
It's you just.
Do dinosaurs operate on that schedule?
They do now.
Did KyoAni just place the fetishes in the show to test our faith?
Maybe.
In them or in life?
And number
I guess
1,
in life, whatever.
Number 1, studio who found a goddamn way the most has to be Studio Dean, for not just Rakugo, not just Konosuba, but also for Sakamoto for making the fucking most hilarious comedy I've seen in a long time. Let me tell you about Japanese comedy and how much it sucks.
You're the expert here.
Because Jesus Christ. But they made 2 hilarious shows and 1 absolute, like, fantastic show in Rakugo. And even though they'd had some
super lovers, though,
even though they did have some blunders, such as Super Lovers, which, I mean, honestly, this is Dean, and they make shit too. They are known for making a lot of shonen AI shows, or IE shows, whatever the hell you say, gay shows, gay fetish fuel shows.
Isn't Shonen Ai like? Oh no, Shonen Ai. Okay, yeah, you're right.
It's basically boy love. They make a lot of boy love shows.
BL.
And what?
BL? Yeah.
BL. Yeah. And
not DL, mind you.
not DL. But they found a way with those 3 shows, and may they continue to find a way this year with both the second seasons of Konosuba and Rakugo and many more. Although let's just pretend that Aoni the animation didn't happen. Only me and Funk will understand that.
Oh yeah.
And I guess Holy Blasphemy too, since he's still watching it too. But there you go.
Anybody
Collin.
else have awards?
believe
I
Collin
do
does.
have awards, yes.
Oh, baby.
If anyone else, speak now because I have quite a few.
All right, I got
Oh.
one more,
Okay.
and then I'll let you have the floor. But
All
this
right.
is the all right. So I want you to imagine I'm saying this in Professor Oak's voice. Okay, it's the
No,
so
you
What?
do an impression. Yeah.
you are close.
that was pretty good.
You were close award for shows that drop the ball the hardest at the end. So I got some 4 honorable mentions and an actual one. So I got I haven't watched this, so I felt bad about giving it my actual one. But if I did, I'd probably give it to that. It's Kuamiko, because holy fuck. Then I got Occultic 9 because what the fuck. Like what the actual fuck? Like, okay, so as if the sudden drop in directing towards the end wasn't bad enough. We have an episode that's pretty much just like, oh, by the VN, Goyim, like, come on, and that's how you fucking end it. Like, come the fuck on. Then we got Soma, which was really really good, but like I don't know why. I don't know who made the decision to make the last 3 episodes just be basically unrelated, because that was such a fucking mistake. Then we got Keys Niver, which I previously mentioned because the last 3 episodes became the Sonozaki show, and I fucking hate Sonozaki. Like, come on. And last but not least, in our winner category, we have Danganronpa 3. And that's it.
All right.
All right, Colin.
Okay. Well, rev up those fryers.
Sakatsume.
All right. So for my first made-up award, we have Best Joke of the Year.
Okay.
And that goes to, and I'm so glad this was mentioned earlier in the podcast, and it goes to Osamatsu-san episode 25 in its entirety. And you guys have already covered that, but I just wanted to note that I loved it too. And for my next award, and I'm surprised no one else had this, and it's Best Girl of the Year. And this, I'm sure this is quite contentious when you really think about it.
There's
But
only one correct answer, Colin.
there are, okay, look, don't get mad at me, all right? But we have a couple of honorable mentions, okay?
Okay.
So Koito from Phantom World, who is cute.
Coitus.
Okay, Mai from Phantom World, who is cute.
Okay.
Okay, Rem from ReZero, who is cute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have Echizen from Tanaka-kun.
Okay.
We have Shiraishi from Tanaka-kun.
Okay.
Okay, all right. And as the first runner-up,
No, come on! Don't do this to me.
as the first runner-up, Monk, calm down. We have Miyano from Tanaka-kun.
No! Piece of shit.
And as Best Girl of the Year, taking her crown, and she'll have it again this year probably, we have Megumin from Konosuba.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
You.
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
You don't look a day over 12,000. Okay,
Is that the name of the...
for the much less exciting Best Boy, which I'll just skim over, we have Ota from Tanaka-kun, Yotaro from Rakugo, and Reagan from Mob Psycho. Now back to the interesting awards. The Heartbreaker Award for biggest heartbreaker in our little crew. And the nominees are
Oh my god.
me and Kenny for not caring about OPs and EDs. Everyone but Steve for not liking Excel World. Everyone but Frank for bullying Frank all year round.
Yeah. Yep.
Frank for making Space Dandy last 5 weeks. And the winner, the king, and in his castle,
Steve.
is
Fucking
Steve
knew it.
for not
Yep.
liking Rakugo.
Yeah.
You should be thankful I even watched it.
Yeah,
Wow,
thanks,
that's the
Steve.
worst thing you could say.
Dick butt.
Jesus Christ.
I was not going to watch it, and you
the-
guys wanted me to watch it.
Fine.
So I watched it, and I gave you my honest opinion.
Yeah, and they were objectively wrong. So anyway, the Elephant in the Room award for something we should probably talk about.
Oh no!
So, the first runner-up is the assassination of Jim Samuelman by the memester Funkalunk.
Oh no!
And of course the winner is Matt tilting everyone around him when we play Overwatch and making everyone not want to play the fucking game ever again.
Let's proceed to not talk about them.
What we're all thinking.
I'm sorry. I hate when I do it too, but I can't help.
Have you tried not doing it?
Yeah, actually.
Wait, we don't need to do the Elephant in the Room right now.
Yeah, right. Like,
We gotta
But he's still gonna be there,
My remedy
Collin.
has been just not. I decided has been just to stop playing it.
Like, if we don't talk about it, he's still gonna be there until you Dumbo drop him elsewhere.
Dumbo drop him. What the hell is that?
Operation Dumbo Drop. Disney film starring Danny Glover.
Listen,
Not Bill Murray, as I mistakenly assumed.
You fool.
But he started a different elephant movie.
Ghostbusters.
What?
the Lady in Waiting award for Where the Fuck is the Second Season?
Good name.
All right. So we have Grimgar, Monster Musume, Overlord, Osamatsu-san, ReZero, Gakko Gurashi, Nozaki-kun, Prison School, Mononoke, and Shomin Sample.
No.
And my final award, the YOYOY award for biggest insult to my intelligence. And I'm not sure I have a definitive winner here, but here's everything, okay? Okay. Being half elf somehow meaning you're not attractive, from ReZero, Outbreak Company, and other shit. The standards of some other world just so happen to be set up in a way that you can appear tolerant and oh so loving without putting any real convictions to the test. Con Revo giving me a definitive answer as to what heroes represent and kind of ruining the ambiguity of the first half. Kirin from Asterisk War for being a shit-ass moe blob. Taboo Tattoo in its attempt at making the murderous lolly with the Schrodinger cat powers sympathetic after making her les out.
Schrodinger's cat power set.
wait, how does that work? Do her powers only work if
We've
she's
been
not
over
there?
this like
care.
10 times.
The old man from Drifters making pee-pee.
No, fuck you. That's great.
Funk loves people peeing himself. He does like Metal Gear after all.
Why is Hannibal senile? I don't get it. Okay, anyway, Biba from Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress and everything involving him. Why he was even in this plot? Why did the plot go in this direction?
Biba.
Beavis Wild Ride.
Not from this year, but Hajime from Gatchaman Crowds and her infuriating Mary Sue existence.
Don't be mean to Hajime.
She was cute, though.
She was cute.
No, she
yeah.
was not. Fuck Hajime.
Erased for making people's eyes turn fucking red every time they have killing intent. Dimension W and whatever the fuck it was trying to do. Gates' attempt to deal with PTSD, written by someone who has never dealt with PTSD, never been close to anyone with PTSD, never talked to anyone with PTSD, never bothered to Google PTSD, and may have very well never heard of PTSD. Also, Con Revo's attempt at dealing with PTSD. Magical Girl Raising Project and every single time someone died. Divine Gates discussion on the conscious mind versus the unconscious mind. The fucking knife scene in the first episode of Occultic 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not from this year, but Mirai Nikki, and trying to convince me that the terrorist chick was sympathetic after she killed children by making her act like a cutesy fucking tsundere and falling for the cop. Mirai Nikki and its continual claims of the terrorist chick is a terrorist like it's her fucking day job. We don't even know why she's terrorizing anything besides the fact that we saw her in a war zone in a flashback. Mirai Nikki and the white-haired guy being the manifestation of Deus's hard-on for Yuki, and this not mattering to anyone, anywhere, at all because he dies 2 seconds later. Mirai Nikki.
Oh no!
The game being pointless because Deus clearly wanted to pick Yuki as his successor from the start. Mirai Nikki and the child rigging a house with anthrax traps and managing to move a full-grown woman 40 feet away. Mirai Nikki and when they held someone at gunpoint talking for 30 seconds rather than killing them when the point of the game is to kill people. Mirai Nikki and the Dog Man episode. Mirai Nikki and taking the perfectly acceptable explanation that the future diaries being God did it or it's magic, and then feeling the need to over-explain the origin of the phones in a way that raises more questions than answers by saying some normal-ass nigga made phones with regular technology that can predict the fucking future. Mirai Nikki and the OVA somehow managing to completely ruin the ending of a show I hated.
So we have to watch the OVA. It just changes the ending.
Jarring tonal shift. Thank you very much.
Can I add one more to this award list?
Yes.
I just want to add the Okinawa arc of Excel World.
Oh, fuck off.
Fuck you. It was horrible. That arc's existence was...
It's not an arc, it's a side story.
It's an arc, Steve! Look at the definition of arc.
It's not long enough to be an arc.
It's horrible. It shouldn't exist.
It's fine.
All right,
But Jesus Christ, Collin played his heart out. Jazz for the soul.
Also, Kawa on Mondays assuring me that these 2D whores have no interest in other 2D men.
God, what the fuck is this year gonna bring?
Fuck 2016, am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
No, don't. No, that's a joke.
What do you mean this has to stop, Kenny?
Kenny likes Mirai Nikki.
We are done with this section of the podcast. We had some fun, but
now the fun is over.
Now we gotta move on to the real awards. So next up is
Even
Frank.
if you say that.
Frank is going to be our first presenter for favorite anime character of the year.
Yeah, man. Okay, so I wasn't quite sure. I think I have a winner and I have 4 runner-ups here.
By the way, before you present this, I have to put my foot down on this.
Yeah.
You can't just list, and this isn't for you, it's for Kenny. You can't just list all the characters of Love Live.
No, I'm
banning
I'm
that.
not going to. Don't worry about it.
I was gonna do that.
I knew you were.
Okay.
So I had to get out ahead of this.
So my first.
Wait. Can I at least have one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
one's fine. I don't see why not. Okay, we ready?
Yes.
So my runner-ups are Biba from Commentary.
You fuck
this
off.
is bad.
Take this guy off the show.
This is bad as when you pick the dog from School Live.
Well, it's the same principle.
With the duck from Tsurutama.
But he was a good character.
Yeah, he's a great character. So Biba obviously contributed a lot to the show. The plot really started getting going when he was introduced, and I was really enjoying Biba's wild ride from start to finish. Then we have Chitose from Girlish Number, a really likable character, full of heart, spirit, and just plucky optimism. Very humble, very modest.
Don't forget an egg shirt.
Yeah, no, her love of eggs is perfectly fine.
The egg shirt is the character.
Then we
Like
have
Indiana Jones's hat.
right. Then we have Mozart from Classicaloid the decision to make Mozart into a pink-wearing twink was a fantastic decision. I don't know who came up with that, but someone should give him a raise right away. Then we have Mizore, the oboe girl from Euphonium, because you know how Collin was saying how Gate just completely, trivialized PTSD, and it was just absolutely terrible. KyoAni, in their attention to detail, like we brought up earlier with Hibike Euphonium, they really always find a way to go the extra mile. So I think KyoAni just really brought it on home. They interviewed a lot of veterans suffering from PTSD, some non-vets, some World War II vets. They really tried to work in a lot of those mannerisms into Mizore every time she heard Nozomi playing the flute. And I think it really worked out in their favor. She was such a mess, and she was clearly suffering. They did such a fantastic job showing her war trauma related to the flute. But alas, she was just shy of number one, who is my favorite character from Orange, Sua, a.k.a. King Cuck. Man, oh man. A true patriot and a hero, willing to go the extra mile just to get cucked as hard as he possibly could.
Literally goes the extra mile to ensure that an alternate version of himself gets with another guy than himself. Even though he knows that he will get with her if this emo fuck does end up killing himself.
A cuck that transcends time and space itself. Clap it up for King Cuck Sua.
Good answer.
Good answer. All right, I'd like to pass the floor off to Collin.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that was his real list, huh?
This is Frank's thing every year, I guess.
Let's see. So for character of the year, I have a top 5.
Nice.
So at number 5, I have Kazuma from Konosuba, who he doesn't necessarily carry the show, because the girls are great too. But oh my god, is Kazuma great! And his dynamic with each character, each one of the girls, is so funny because. Obviously, okay, people can say, oh, it's not harem, it's parody of harem. But okay, there are still some harem-ish aspects of it. But one of the most appealing parts of it is that they all have very convincing friendships with Kazuma. And they all give each other shit. There's bants, there's good times, And so he's also... I don't speak a lick of Japanese, all right? But... there's something about this guy that makes me think, oh wow, this guy's voice acting is incredible. And he delivers every single line perfectly. So at number 4, we have Arataka Reagan from Mob Psycho, who, for similar reasons that Matt talked about his love for episode 11, I think, of Mob Psycho.
Yeah.
He is such a great embodiment of one of the author's values, where the author sort of pontificating would typically come off as obnoxious. Reagan is just entertaining as hell. Not only that, is that I talked about this in the previous one, but he speaks in a way that delivers a message regarding Japanese values to Japanese people that's actually appealing. And so I don't know. He's also hysterical. So points there. And he saves the day at the end through words and not violence. Number 3, we have Sato from Ajin. I want to talk about a guy who completely transforms a show. Before Sato started going ham, I didn't really know how to feel about Ajin. I thought it was alright. And then suddenly this guy with the hat tranks this kid. And and things started going off the rails. And you can tell the writing changed, but Sato takes on a life of his own from this change in writers, and it's pretty incredible. Now this is an example of a guy carrying a show. He carried like the whole first 13 episodes of Ajin. So number 2, I have Asuka from Hibike Euphonium.
Good answer.
Yeah, it's a great answer. Because, man, I don't think I've seen this sort of approach to a parent-child relationship like this in an anime yet. Obviously, I've only been watching since last year. But it's a very interesting dynamic, and because it's more than just like the disapproving parent, because they address that strange juxtaposition of feeling like you say, oh well, I love my parent, but then you also resent them immensely, like you want to be grateful, but you feel like that they've taken something from you, and that's like it's such an accurate depiction of a dysfunctional relationship. And how she kind of becomes standoffish towards other people as a result, but is such a charismatic little actress that she comes off as very likable to people who don't spend too much time around her. And I said I got a little misty-eyed at the end of Hibike Euphonium 2 when Kumiko looks back and she sees Asuka's footprints in the snow after she's gone, because this was someone who has had a big impact on Kumiko's character that she's probably likely to carry with her for the rest of her life. And I don't know where the novels go from this. Asuka could appear again, but from my perspective, it felt like she's never going to see Asuka again in her life. And Asuka has gone off to go live a successful life, but a dysfunctional one. And she had that one little moment or two little moments of being genuine with someone that she's probably going to have difficulty finding for the rest of her life. And that's a character taking on a life of her own.
Colin, you're really making me happy with this discussion here. You're really you're inspiring me.
Oh, am I really? Is this
no,
being sarcasmal?
I'm being very sarcasmal. This is the most gloomy, depressing thing I've heard. I mean, I don't disagree. It's just that's just the blackest outlook I could think of.
Always has this kind of somber air about
it. No. It's completely in line with the show. I don't think it's incorrect at all, as much as it is conjecture. It's just that's just a dark take on it. Is all I'm saying.
So you want to hear a dark take on something, because my number one character is Kiku from Rakugo.
There it is.
Wow. You've seen sort of the archetype of the curmudgeonly old man a lot of times, but I don't think it's ever really been justified in such detail like this when you just cover someone's entire life, as you go from oh my god, it's sad from the start. From the start, he's kicked to the curb from what he wanted to do.
Right. It's just
right. He wanted to be a dancer, and he doesn't just get kicked out. He's completely incapable of dancing because of his leg. It's that bad. And the guy has to keep getting back up. And he finds something he finds something to take pride in, and it's a dying medium.
And not only that, he's always in the shadow of somebody who does it better than him.
Yes, absolutely. And see, that's the thing, is that like he's hit with that self-loathing afterwards when he gets more recognition than that guy. He knows he doesn't deserve it as much. And then he loses that guy who understands him and never hated him for being more famous.
I love the look on Skeidoku's face when he just decouples his hand from Kiku's at the very end of the show. And it's the very same look that he has in the graveyard in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, oh my god, it's haunting.
It's really something else. It's really, really something else, and it's like watching a horror story. Like, I really hope everyone who watches the show is probably like, I really hope my life doesn't turn out like that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jesus Christ. We've entered the depressing era of the podcast.
Yeah.
So I hope you checked your good times at the
The
door.
more depressing your character, the higher it is on my list.
I tried to introduce it with a little bit of levity, but now we're getting just a little bit real, man. Like,
Collin absolutely hates good times.
We started with shit posting, and now we're just getting sad.
yeah.
Can
All
I
right.
take breaks here? Because
Yeah, I'll pass the baton off here.
I'm
Don't
going to
worry.
be a little more lighthearted.
Okay.
I have a 7 entry list for some reason.
Interesting.
Unranked up until the very end. So among these honorable mentions, we have Sakamoto Desuga, just because of the pure tour de force that he was throughout the entire show's run. An enigma and a role model, everything you could want or ask for, or really even comprehend. Sakamoto's is beyond your understanding as a mortal being on the plane of Earth. He just raises above it, and it was just hilarious to see his antics. Another good one we got Top Smug from Girlish Number. For a lot of the reasons that Frank listed. Just, you love to hate her. She has a complete arc throughout the show's run, so you come back around on liking her. But just selling her so well is just a horrible roasty through the first couple of episodes. Was fantastic. Another one we got Asuka. I don't really have anything to add beyond what Collin said, but one of the more complex and deeper characters we had this year in a couple of years. It's wonderful. We got Megumi from Konosuba, based purely on the fact that she was cute. And
Okay.
boy, was she cute.
Good answer.
Great
I'll allow it.
Answer.
We got Reagan from Mob Psycho, based purely on the fact that he was cute.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Just that episode where he's just taking command of the whole headquarters of what was the name of that organization?
Claw.
Yes. It's just, I was heartbroken when he quote unquote died at the end of one of the episodes. I remember texting Collin and I was like, oh no, why did they do this? And then Collin lied to me and just said, yeah, he's dead.
And you believed him.
And I did. Why would Collin lie to me? But it led to the greatest joy in my life when he just comes back in the next step, and I was like, yes. Although I had been thoroughly hoodwinked. But that just speaks to how much I enjoyed his character. That his death made a mark on me, fake as it was. Number 2, the last runner-up, Skeiroku from Rakugo. Just purely watching. I mean, he's not as complex a character as Kiku. But watching his performances throughout the show, the point of the show is that he was just flat out better than Kiku, and boy, did that shine through. Like, his last scene, giving his last performance, masterful. I don't know the name of the actor who voiced him, but man, did that guy do a good job, and man, did the direction of the show sell it. It just, oh my god. Watching one of his Rakugo performances, if you had told me that this was like a reenactment of some great artist, who from the 20th century, I would have believed you.
The best part is that you can feel that it's just for his daughter. He's got the whole audience there, and just from his voice acting, it's for her.
And like they play it off so well. You see that it cuts to her. She's loving it. She's completely into it. The scene where him and Kiku are performing it together, she's like kind of put off by Kiku's performance a bit because he's doing it a bit more somber. He comes in, her face just lights up. You can feel that little connection there. Oh my god. And then obviously in the last performance, the same thing. It's just, it works so well. Even if he's not as complex of a character, he was a joy. A complete fucking joy. And that's my one reservation about this next season of Rakugo. You can't just give the audience what they want all the time, obviously, but him not being there is I wish he was. And finally, number 1, veering into Collin's category of best girl, we have the best character of the year, Miyano from Tanaka. Purely because she's cute as a fucking button. If your heart didn't melt when she streamed along your screen as that bullet during one of the I don't know what to say. She's amazing. And just I'm just smiling thinking about her. It's too cute. Too fucking cute. Steve,
Hello, that's me.
who are your favorite anime characters of the year?
Well, I only have 3. So for 2 honorable mentions, I have first is Satoru from Erased, a character who probably exemplifies everything I love about a heroic character. I'd actually written like several paragraphs of notes about him for like the Winter podcast, which I never really got to because our discussion ran long, and then I lost my notes when my computer died.
I was about to ask,
So-
would you like to read them right now, but I guess that's not.
Yeah, I don't have them,
Uh,
which it feels bad, but it happens. Also, Galco for being the waifu of the year.
oof.
No question there.
Oof.
But Collin stole my thunder a bit here by talking about him before. But my winner for this category, Best Anime Character of the Year, is Kazuma from Konosuba. Top 10 based anime protagonist. He's probably at top or near there. He was what I think made that show work for me, and it's great that you have like this trapped in a fantasy world show where the supposed self-insert protagonist was the most interesting one, and he was also the most competent one, but not because he was like a Mary Sue or had some kind of bullshit power. He was just slightly above competency, and everyone else is just fucking shit. He's the only sane man in this insane world. And it works. It plays to the humor. It plays to what the show does well. And there's no end to his depravity. If you've seen the OVA of Konosuba, it's probably him at his best. And I eagerly look forward to more of his adventures this season. So that's my list for favorite anime character of the year. And I'm gonna give it to Frank.
Oh my god.
To me?
Yeah,
He
but
started
I already
it.
gave it to you.
Didn't he start this?
Frank did
I
start
did.
this.
He did. Yeah. So let's go to Matt then.
Okay. So, well, I guess I'm just gonna give an honorable mention to all 3 of the girls from, well, the main girls at least, from Tanaka-kun. Miyano, Shiraishi, and Echizen in that order, for being absolutely adorable and by far the best girls of the year outside of one. The rest of my top anime characters are actually all guys outside of the other one. But
Amazing.
number 5 is actually going to be Izuku Midoriya from My Hero Academia
Oh,
for being,
That's a
or
solid
Deku.
choice.
who is an absolute madman and also just a very very fun character to watch, because even though he cries like a little bitch all the time, he still like just goes forward. He's a crybaby, but he's also so determined to get what he wants that he just deals with it and just goes for it. He's like the ultimate heroic underdog who doesn't care about the odds. He just knows what he wants and he's ready to do whatever it takes to get it, no matter how much he gets shit on for wanting it.
You are gonna be hyped for season 2.
Oh
Like,
boy,
he
am I
goes-
hyped for season 2.
He's gonna give it to him. He's got some great moments coming.
I let me tell you, that one scene where he during the fight between him and what's his name, the fire dude, Bakugo, when they're doing like
Explosions, but yeah.
when they're doing like the training during their classes, and he just punches the ceiling to not only just like stop that guy's attack, but to also make make rocks and shit for the other girl to throw rocks and shit at the guy to confuse him as she actually goes and grabs onto the bomb to win. It's just absolutely ingenious, and just the ways that he just fucks himself up to get what he wants. It's beautiful. So good. Number 4 is another absolute madman with Sato, who, oh my god, like, now, unlike Collin, I actually really enjoyed the show before he came into the picture, but Jesus Christ, does he, I am not, like, this guy carries this show so hard. It's amazing how fun he is to watch. He just causes all of this destruction and does not give a single fuck because he's basically invincible. And he just, like, and the best part is whenever he's just, like, playing his dumb little video game and makes all these, like, video game related metaphors to the shit he does. And he's just such a fun, likable villain that you just can't wait to see what he does next. Next up to pretty much to parrot what everybody else has already said, Kazuma from Konosuba. He's just hilarious. He's like so based where in any other harem show, like the male would be like this guy that everybody just shits on, that like just is like some dumb self-insert. There's like the guy who just falls on her tits is like, whoa!
Kazuma is true wish fulfillment.
He is, yeah, he is. Like, the best part of his character is that he's still kind of like a complete oaf, but just like I already mentioned. Well, I think it was Funk who already mentioned, or I don't know who it was, or maybe it was Steve, maybe it was Collin. I forget. My memory's horrible right now, but like just the fact that everybody around him is such a fucking idiot, it just makes him like he's an idiot too. But they're so stupid in comparison that he just ends up looking like the smartest one. And the best part is that despite the fact that he's still basically useless, he's still the most useful one out of all of them.
They're the ones with all the powers and abilities, and they can't do shit.
Exactly. Barring maybe Aqua, but her only thing really is the fact that she can just bring everybody back from the dead. So it doesn't even matter what happens. But even then, she's not exactly willing to always do so, because she just doesn't care. And he's actually the one who ends up having to do everything for everybody else. So it's just such a subversion to what you would expect with this kind of show that it just makes them so great. But of course, from the same show, I have to give Best Girl of the Year and the second best character of the year to Megumin, because she is adorable.
Good answer.
She is the most chuny little. She's the most chuny little mage ever, and she's just fantastic. And I can't wait to see more of her in season 2, and also the implications of where her and Kazuma's relationship apparently is supposedly going to go. But she's great. She's cute and adorable, and I love her. Number one has to be none other than Reagan, Mob Psycho. Because, like, this guy is the most like different anime character I've seen in a long time, because this is a show all about people like fighting and being violent, and it's basically a shonen in how it sets a lot of things up. But then you have this guy come in and he's like, dude, why are you guys fighting? Why are you acting like kids? Just stop. Just stop, dude. Just be an adult. Like, just the way that the show kind of turns around on itself and is like, why are you guys doing this? Like, just chill out, yo. And how Reagan's like, you're fighting. Like, he's like, comes up to him and is like, why are you beating up kids? What's wrong with you? You're adults, right? Why are you acting like fucking children? And just makes everybody look pathetic just by talking to them. It's so amazing. And also, I love the fact also that this guy's kind of an asshole too, because he's a fake. He's a
con man.
He's a con man, but he's a con man with a heart of gold because he helps people.
Well, I mean,
Like,
that's why it works so well. If you
know.
had somebody who was just virtuous telling people that they're living their lives incorrectly, well, that's a lot less entertaining than someone so unabashedly crooked kind of still setting you on the right course, you know?
Exactly. And the best part is that,
so
like,
great.
even when he's conning people, like, with his whole ghost whatever stuff, with his being a psychic and being a medium and everything like that, like, he's still helping people. Like, there's a one episode where he just gives the guy a massage to help him supposedly to like get away the ghost, but he ends up making him feel good. Like, all his clients, he actually helps in some way, despite the fact that he's basically ripping them off. And he's just such a great.
He gets upset
character.
when he hears about another psychic just telling them they have a problem and then leaving them. It's like, well, if you don't pretend to solve the problem, then you're nothing but a con artist.
I love that scene where the two other con people try to con Mob, and then he comes in and he's like, "Yo, what are you doing? Stop conning this poor kid." It's like
a true hero.
He was a true hero.
Would you describe him as a small medium at large?
Yes. That perfect description. Well, that's my list.
God.
All right, Kenny.
Yes.
Now, keeping in mind the rule I set down, what are your favorite anime characters of the year?
Just had to remind them.
We got the sigh.
Yeah, this is gonna be difficult. So I can't choose.
Also, if you fucking list all the Brave Witches, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Can I choose one from each?
Of course you can.
Okay. Daya Kurosawa from Love Live.
I knew it was Daya. I fucking knew it. I speculated last on the summer mid-season podcast what your favorite Love Live was, and I said it was Daya.
Which one was Daya again?
Does
The
it
student
make
council president.
does it make sense though?
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense.
Is she a tsundere and have long dark hair?
She has long dark hair. She's kind of tsundere. She's a dork for a fucking muse, but like.
No, but more importantly, why do you think I chose her?
That's like a riddle.
Is it a riddle? Because I mean, really, like, if I tended to say it's because she's the most like Maki, but in actuality, Rico is probably the most like Maki, so it's not that.
It was brought to my attention though, like they were like certain friends of mine were like, yeah, you don't recognize Muse, so
Was that us?
no, that wasn't you.
No.
How the fuck would you know?
I watched Love Live the movie, Kenny. And I watched 8 episodes of Love Live Sunshine Generation.
If anyone would know, it'd be Frank.
That's true.
I'm basically the same level of Love Live as Frank is.
No, he's not.
No, you're not.
He's definitely not. Go ahead, though, Kenny. Tell me.
No, but like I was compared to Daya because I didn't acknowledge.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, because they're not new. Okay, that makes sense though.
Yeah,
it's
does.
cute. It's cute. I like it.
Anime characters who are literally you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Daya?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Daya and
Nenechi?
What?
What?
Just go on, Kenny.
Wait, who'd you say?
You said Nenechi.
Who the hell is that?
Anime
From
characters that are literally Kenny.
From New Game.
No.
Never mind, just go on, Kenny.
No. That and Editha Rossman from Brave Witches.
Is she like Shirley?
No.
Is she the one that looks like Shirley?
Surely you can't be serious, Frank.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Oh my god, God damn it, Frank. No, she's a silver like culture.
Say it slow.
I can't even talk.
But what about Nippa?
Nipa.
No.
Nippa.
No. Edith the Rossman.
Oh, she's the one in your Skype picture, right?
Yeah, she's the one in the Skype
Okay.
picture. Yeah.
We have a visual reference.
We do.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that, because she's a... excuse me. She's a flight instructor.
Oh, so another
Anime characters who are
literally you.
It's not something to make fun about, but yeah, I'm trying to keep it together right now. But
Oh, Kenny.
Are you sleepy?
no, it's
Do you have any other characters you want to share?
no, it's it's kind of hard to keep together.
It's okay, Kenny.
Okay, well, we're going to end it there.
It's a heartfelt character to, like, you know.
She's near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
Okay. We understand, Kenny.
We do understand, Kenny. So we're going to end this part here. We're going to take one final break, and then we'll be right back with our worst anime of the year, and also the best anime of the year.
Yep, let's do it.
Hey.
Hello, and welcome back once again to the Luckycast. We're in the home stretch now, so let's move on to the worst anime of the year award. This is always fun. So Kenny, hit us with it. Tell us what are the worst anime you watched this year.
They need no explanation. Taboo Tattoo, Quality Code, or
Quesadilla code.
Chlamydia Code.
Oh.
Rewrite, Big Order, and 100.
Those are all.
Oh, wow.
Those are
I'm-
all abysmal. Holy shit.
I'm genuinely surprised you did not mention Space Patrol Luluco.
Because I dropped it.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you finished all these other shows?
Yes.
Kenny finishes almost everything.
Holy fuck.
Of those shows, Kenny, what would you say was the worst?
Oh, fuck.
Or at least the one that maybe you hated watching the most?
Big Order. Gotta be. God. That was fucking abysmal. Like, it was so fucking bad.
It really was.
Do you not agree?
No, because I'm going to follow up here because I have something to say about that too.
Good.
So
Because it was fucking shit.
yeah, so my honorable mentions here, we have Divine Gate, for perhaps some of the worst writing of anything I have ever seen. There was Hatsukoi Monster, the only show this year I would describe as actually offensive. And then there was Endride, a show so bad I ended it after one episode.
You ended the ride?
I sure did. I could not get off that ride fast enough. But there was a clear winner here, and that is Big Order. And I almost feel kind of bad at giving Big Order worst anime of the year, because all the other ones I mentioned were bad in a way where I couldn't even finish the show or made me mad while watching them. Whereas Big Order is a show that is actually watchable. I wouldn't call it like so bad it's good, but it is so bad it's watchable. There is an element of entertainment you can get from watching Big Order, and there's really only a couple episodes that are boring, but everything else, there is just something absurd going on that needs to be seen to be believed. But even in spite of that, you just can't deny how bad this show is. And I know you guys might say, well, it's from the same writer as Mirai Nikki, so what did you expect? But Mirai Nikki is like a masterpiece compared to Big Order. That show is coherent in a way where if you compare it to Big Order, it is just a huge, colossal mess where nothing makes sense, nothing is explained, and at the end of the show, it all doesn't matter anyways because it's everything had been undone.
Yeah, but you and I completed it, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, like
Somehow.
yes, somehow.
Like, I didn't hate watching it week to week because, I was just interested to see how bad and how absurd the events of the show got, and they did not let me down in that regard.
But it was the guilty pleasure.
No, because I wouldn't say that because it's just too bad to be that. But you can get some.
But you kept watching it.
I did because like I said, you can get some enjoyment from watching the show, but it doesn't negate how utterly trash it is. Like there isn't even an attempt to be coherent here or tell a story that all makes sense. Nothing fits. Nothing is explained. Things just happen for no reason. This is like one of the worst anime I've ever seen, and I could not give anything else other than Big Order worst anime of the year.
Would you rate it?
I gave it a 3.
Out of 5?
And that's pretty harsh for me. I'm usually forgiving of a lot of things, but man, that show is just something else. So I know some of you other guys watched it but smartly dropped it, but I would say if you're interested, at least watch until episode 3, because episode 3 is by far the most insane of them all.
Well, that's usually like the standard. I usually give like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And then I'm done.
It just so happens in this show's case, the 3rd episode is the most actually insane episode of the whole show. But yeah, that's
was that Collin responding?
What?
not that I know of. But
That was
Yeah,
Steve talking,
no.
Kenny.
but
I don't know. Someone's like, yeah, and I'm just like, okay.
that was probably me doing an impersonation of someone that I don't recall doing. But I will turn it over to Collin now because he's usually good for something here.
Oh wow!
Is he?
Oh wow! Jeez.
Colin's not good for anything.
Yeah.
So okay, I have a couple of honorable mentions before I get to the actual list, but I didn't finish any of these, so I don't feel comfortable putting them there.
Right.
And that's Netoge for being something that really should have been a guilty pleasure, but it wasn't funny at all. So I can't give it that.
Then you have no sense of humor.
Oh my god!
Okay, all right. Look, the Yamcha joke was kind of funny. All right. Taboo Tattoo for being chuny trash. Probably gonna be little fucking Japanese kids running around with fake tattoos.
Hey,
Well, when
I'm
you
not
put
gonna-
it like that,
I'm not gonna judge you a taboo tattoo.
And Divine Gate for reasons already listed.
what about the chicken? You didn't get to the chicken, unfortunately.
Was
No, I did
someone
not
on a
get
chicken vendor in that show?
I fortunately did not get to the chicken.
Frank, what
So,
I would give for a box of chicken tenders right now.
Yeah.
At number 5, we have the show about pineapples, 91 Days. Where at the end of it, you just think, man, I really, really, really would rather have watched like any other gangster film. Like, anime's attempt at a gangster film is about 1/10 as good, not nearly as interesting. At number 4, we have Gate Part 2, which is surprisingly not terrible.
I was gonna say both on the most surprising list and on the worst anime of the year list.
Yes, it's surprisingly not outright horrendous, but it's still bad. Don't get me wrong.
Is Gate Part 2 your guy?
Yes, it's. I don't know. I don't have a witty retort. We've been on for like 8 hours right now.
No, I don't understand why you hate that anime so much.
We've been
Actually,
through it.
you know what, Kenny? If you're ever curious, you can go back and listen to the Summer 2015 and Year in Review podcast 2015.
I am going to fly to fucking the West Coast and fucking beat the shit out of you.
Maybe if you listen to those podcasts while sober, you'll understand why I dislike Gate.
Heyo.
All right. So at number, what am I, 3? 3.
Yeah.
I have
We're
Conrevo
gonna fight
Part
that
2.
fight every year. At some point, Gate's gonna come up, and this
They're
is gonna
both gonna
happen
be like
all over
60
again.
years old. It's like, why the fuck don't you like Gate, Collin? Kenny, that was 30 years ago.
All right, at number 3, I have Conrevo Part 2. It's so immensely disappointing. It's so meandering. After they had built it up so well, but at least it had the ski episode.
Yeah, at least it was that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least.
Oh my god! And you know what was such a huge disappointment is that they had such a huge emphasis in the first season on him assembling his team,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And they only have one scene of all of them really interacting together, and it's the same scene where they all fall apart.
Right.
What a complete missed opportunity! Why weren't these people interacting throughout the entire season? Why? Man, I don't even fucking with Jaguar in this shit.
Yeah.
Every time, every episode is like, obviously, in retrospect, it's like, oh, he was on their side all along. But at the same time, it's so stupid how every episode they're like, okay, well, we got to put aside our differences and solve this thread of the week.
Should we describe the formula for each episode of Season 2 of Conrepo?
Go ahead, Funk.
Okay, so there's a problem. There's some superhuman acting up, whether they're actually a superhuman or some kind of like demonic force from another world, more or less the same thing. So then the superhuman investigation bureau shows up and they start investigating the problem, which is more or less, oh look, there's a problem. And then out of the corner of their eye, they see what's his face? Jito. They see Jito just standing there, and like, oh my god, it's Jito, and they're like, he's on the run too. We got to catch him. So they run up to Jito and they're like, you're under arrest. And he says, look at this. There's a superhuman problem here. We need to work together to fix it. And like, okay, we'll do that. So then 5 minutes go by where they do nothing, and the superhuman problem more or less resolves itself without any intervention. And then they all stand around and say, all right, Jito, you can go this time, but next time I'm going to get you. And then he just flies off.
See you next week, Jiro.
And that was every episode until like episode 10.
Oh my god. And then at number 2, Dimension W. And we've tried to articulate many a time, but I really don't think we'll ever really get to the core of what the fuck happened. So I'm just not gonna bother with it because we've already got over this. When they introduce the wacky racist characters is when you officially realize that Dimension W is trash.
Well, that was like the final hope for it to have any entertainment value after like the long stretch of boring that had preceded it.
And then they were boring. And then they were totally boring.
They fumbled it.
But what about Seameyer, though?
What about the last spin dart that he'll ever throw, and then the next one that he threw?
What about the African Kang? Who is he?
The African boy pussy.
Don't forget the African boy pussy, kids. All right, and number one, we have the Asterisk War, which after the podcast where I did my short little rant on Asterisk War, I didn't know that it was a meme to shit on Asterisk War. Some other memester on YouTube made like a 12-part series on that, so he's probably got all the bases covered. So I don't think I need to say...
The series, by the way, is not worthy of that much analysis.
No, it's really not. It's so blasé. It's just, wow, this is trash. It's what you see is what you get, and it's trash. and it doesn't know it's trash. So Steve can't make us all swim around in it. And no, it's not fun. Doesn't even give you the benefit of good fight choreography.
Oh my god.
Or exciting character conflict. It's literally just like the basest formula of wish fulfillment, fucking school harem battle anime, and that's it. It doesn't do anything different at all. It's sad. It's honestly a little sad when I think about it, especially that it was actually semi-popular. Anyway.
All right.
That's it. Astro Score is the worst anime I watched this year.
I'll take over from here.
That
Now it's my turn.
Hold up. If I finish
not
Divine
my
Gate,
turn.
or if I finish Taboo Tattoo, they might be worse than Astro Score. But
Divine Gate would have been worse.
yeah, Divine Gate would have been fucking worse.
But that's presumably why you did not finish
Like, you
it.
joked about going back and finishing it, and you couldn't bring yourself to do
I
it.
couldn't bring myself to do it.
I remember you actually set it as complete on your Mal just so that you could give it a 1 so that it would actually affect the overall score.
Yep.
So much like Collin, I didn't rank anything on my list that I did not finish or at least watch a good portion of. Because I dropped many horrible, horrible shows at 1 or 2 episodes that I don't think would be fair to populate my list with.
You also got tricked into watching Chinese anime.
Fuck, man. Steve, thank you so much for putting out that advisory.
Oh, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Anytime you see a Chinese show, let us know.
I will.
But anyway,
if you see a show by the studio Iman, that's Chinese.
noted. But I have 7 entries on my worst anime of the year list, most of which have been talked about already. Number 7, Honda-kun, unabashedly horrible. Number 6, Dimension W, just also horrible. But the thing is, I knew this. I knew this all along.
You're never going to give this up.
I'm never going to give this up. From like episode 3 or 4, I was like, this is not good. I'm not feeling this show. You guys are like, no, it's fine. And then what happened? It turned to shit. Except it was always shit.
Can you spare us, please?
I'll rub it in later. Number
Later?
5. Yeah.
No, you're done.
In like a couple months next year. Next year I'll have an award for the Dimension W award where Funk was right. Next, number 5 is Occultic 9, which while I really wanted to enjoy it, it just infested itself with more and more problems that compounded as the season went on. Number 4, 91 Days, same reasons Collin mentioned. Number 3, Conrevo, The Last Song. Number 2, Kotetsujo no Kabaneri, just for fucking... I don't want to say go off the rails because that's a trite pun, but it had so much promise.
I mean, you could just say it's a train wreck.
And then Biba.
There it is.
Eh,
Wow.
I don't want to pile it all on top of Biba because there were signs of problems pre-Biba, BB era.
I mean, pre-Biba, it was still like a dumb zombie show. And it
Yeah,
wasn't really trying to be anything more than that.
No, but it could have been better. Like
It absolutely could have.
when you have so much talent in the visuals, it could have been better. The disappointment combined with how bad it actually was gets at the number 2 slot. But the number 1 slot for the worst show I watched this year, and I think I might have something in common with Frank here, hopefully, if he's got any knowledge about him at all. Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
through an episode of Phoenix Wright
Yeah.
was just... It was trying.
Oh my
Frank-
fucking god.
Frank is so broken right
Frank
now.
says he sounds like he's done.
Yeah.
Things like all the characters... Oh my god, and I watched the stupid meme subs where it was...
Yeah. Fucking
Hamburgers.
the
eat your
greatest
hamburgers, Apollo.
I watched the entire
Salmon
series
out
like
there.
that, by the way.
I don't know how you did it and didn't have that on your list.
Oh,
But...
God.
it's bad.
My favorite part of the Phoenix Wright saga was that fucking Collin marathoned the games just in time to watch the anime and then didn't watch the anime.
Yeah. A good call on Colin's part. Collin didn't even play the third game, which is the best one.
I played the first case of the third game.
It's a good case.
It was a good case. Yeah, it was solid.
Is that the one where Phoenix Wright has to like find a way out of a hard situation and he does it at the last second?
Actually, you don't play as Phoenix Wright in that case.
Yeah,
You play as Mia.
Oh my god.
It's a
What's
flashback case.
that one called? Mamma Mia?
Well, I mean, you only play as Mia in the first case and the fourth case of that game.
Did Funk ever make it to the part where they forced the parrot to testify?
Yes.
That part's iconic, though. Like, I mean, in the games, it's a great moment. In the anime,
can we move on with the podcast? Like,
let's not talk about anything, guys. We're just gonna list titles of shows.
Yeah. Oh wait, who's the last to go?
I
have to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, Matt, you go and then I'll go.
Okay. Number. I actually do have a top 10. I'm gonna be quick though.
Ooh.
So number 10 was actually a show that nobody else watched. It was a short called Gakuen Handsome.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And this show is really dumb, and I'll fully admit I actually did kind of enjoy it. Like, this is like almost a guilty pleasure show. The problem is that the joke of the show having atrocious art and being like just really stupid runs dry pretty quick. And this is something this is something that actually apparently was an OVA first, and then they made into a 12-episode short series. And I feel like it probably works better as an OVA than as a short that you have to watch week by week, because it just gets boring and it's just stupid. And the ending is great, but that's pretty much the best part of the show, where it's like intentionally shitty. It's not really funny. It got a couple chuckles here and there out of me, but overall it's just a really average, not very funny parody of boy love shit. Number 9, I'm gonna have to say, is Netoge, which is another show I didn't really hate. I actually kind of liked it at first, but as it went on, I was like, yeah, this is boring. So it was just boring by the end. And then they did the most predictable shit, too, as the show went on, so whatever. Number 8 is Dimension W.
Oof.
Because, Jesus Christ, what the hell even happened in this show? Number 7, Kiznaiver. Because, God.
Good sigh, Frank. Good sigh.
Bad writing, ahoy. All around. Bad characters, bad writing. Just a big nothing show. That I was really, really actually kind of hyped for, because it sounded like it had a good premise, but it was just wasted on dumb love triangle bullshit.
The Breakfast Club, bro.
Yeah. Number 6. Now this is where we get to the shows that are just plain garbage. Orange.
Yeah.
This show is bad.
Yeah.
The whole, like, it starts off pretty okay, but then as it goes on, it gets more into the time travel shit. They try to explain the time travel. They go to they apparently go, like, are like, the moment that really just made me just like hold my head in my hands, just thinking, what the fuck are you doing? Like, oh shit, nigga, what are you doing? It was just when, like, it shows the future selves, and they're all like, how do we help the alternate universe people? Like, hey, remember that one random discussion our teacher, for some weird reason, mentioned in class in high school about parallel universes for some reason? I don't even think it was a science class.
It wasn't even. It was. Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, I totally remember that, because we remember random shit like that. Why don't we just do that? And it's like, okay, how do we do it? Bermuda Triangle. Yay! It's like, yeah, no. But yeah, that show was dumb. Girl was dumb. Oh, that's another thing. I love the moment where the biggest fucking cock tease of all time, Kakeru, is like, I don't want to be with you, and then he like holds out his hand to like hold hands with her and shit, like an asshole. But then she's so stupid. She goes up to her friends and is like, Kakiro held out his hand for me? What does he mean by that? It's like, oh my god. Like, literal retard character. Okay, anyways. Number 5, Kumamiko. You already know why. The ending was just so abysmal that it ruined the entire show. Number 4, Haruchika. I don't know why I finished this. It was bad.
Yeah, I don't know why you finished it either.
Yeah,
Unless you really like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, no, this is worse than any episode of Scooby-Doo I've ever seen. The mysteries are so dumb. Holy shit. The characters were dumb. I remember the one episode where they're all like preparing for a big performance, and then they're like, "But what about this dog?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, who gives a shit about the dog? You gotta practice, nigga.
Could you imagine that in the euphonium context?
Oh my god. I can just imagine like Kumiko and Reina just like about like going to practice, and then like Asuka just comes up, "Yo, I found this missing dog. What do we do with it, yo?" It's like, I don't know.
That reminds me of like the fucking Code Geass cat episode.
Oh my god.
Code
I have no
Geass.
idea what you're talking about, but it sounds stupid.
There's an entire episode of that show where a cat steals his helmet, and the entire school is just running around trying to get this stupid cat.
Oh, I think I remember
It's so
that.
dumb.
I remember watching. I think I remember that because it aired over here on like Toonami or whatever the fuck. But was that one of the fan service episodes? Maybe.
Not really.
Was that one of the ones where the one where they all were dressed in like cat suits?
No,
Probably.
but yeah, that's also a horrible problem with that show.
Okay.
No, it was
Anyway.
it was a regular episode.
Oh, okay. Number 3, Occultic 9, for the most what the fuck like last few episodes ever, and also just for being a generally terribly directed and terribly written show. With like, I don't know why the fuck they did this show the way they did, but number 2 is another show I don't know why I finished, but I did. Pond de Peace.
You wanted to become an official bread buddy.
I became a bread buddy, but at what cost?
Well, welcome to the club.
Yeah, that just another completely nothing slice of life show that was just offensive with how.
Yeah, don't sound too excited.
Why did they bring the bread to school?
Like they we're gonna make a bread club. Like, how bored would you have to be with your life to revolve your school like extracurricular activities around fucking bread?
At least it had Big Bread, unlike another show.
At least it did have Big Bread. That is true. And number 1, I'm gonna have to give it to Mayoiga.
Oh no.
For
Boo.
being the most like, Jesus Christ, like I've never like this show is hilarious. First off, this is legitimately like one of the like I laughed harder at this show than any show I've seen this year, which is a big problem for something that is supposedly supposed to be a drama. But Jesus Christ, was this show just a mess? And I will never understand Funk's enjoyment of it.
I can understand Funk's enjoyment and your dislike of it equally. Like, I'm like right in the middle here.
I mean, it was. I will say though, while it was the worst, it certainly wasn't the least entertaining. Because without that, I enjoyed every minute of that show, as awful as it was.
I'm surprised you did put Grimgar on your list, considering you made a big deal about that.
I was going to until I realized that I didn't put Kisniver on my list, which
Good call,
made me
good
much
call.
more angry. But yeah, Grimgar, when I was thinking about it, in all honesty, as much as I didn't like it in comparison to everybody else, like I'll admit it wasn't a bad show. It was
No, but
just
remember when he beat the final boss in the slideshow?
Oh my god! Like I know the show. Like I didn't like the show, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad.
No,
at the very worst, it's like average. And I just had an irrational hatred for it.
What about that one guy? What was his name? The
I don't know.
guy you hated.
Oh, you mean the guy who
Ranta?
who's big?
Yes.
Oh, Ranta. Yeah, I
Ranta.
hated him. Although I'll probably say I kind of overall hated the healer guy worse, the more just because of the fact that they dwelled on him so goddamn
Who
long.
remembers his name? Pop quiz.
Colin
Who-
probably does.
Oh, Monato.
Oh my god, he did it.
Remember when his Jedi ghost appeared?
Force Ghost.
Force Ghost.
But yeah, it. Yeah,
Hunter, did I ever
Grimgar-
tell you about my fucking death where I got shot in the back because of you? You were not a very good friend.
Oh my god! But yeah, I guess that's that. But yeah, Grimgar was bad, but it was. I mean, Grimgar wasn't that bad. It was. It's a show that I don't think is like. It's one of those shows where I hated, but I don't think it's bad. It's just that I just hated it. If that makes sense.
Rank A.
All right, I'll make it quick. I got 5. I got a winner and 4 honorable mentions. So from least bad to worst bad, we got Orange, Dimension W, Con Revo 2, Berserk, which only I watched, and fuck man, Berserk should be the winner here by all means. It's really, really not good. The CGI is a god awful decision on their part. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. It looks abysmal. The directing is abysmal. The pacing is abysmal. The choreography, like, there's really not a lot that's redeeming here. But it didn't wound me on the level that Ace Attorney wounded me. Just because Ace Attorney like is a series that's so near and dear to my heart. Like I completely acknowledge that Berserk should be at the top of this list, but Ace Attorney is my favorite. And what they did to this franchise is unforgivable. Eurus and I fucking
You'll never recover.
no, it's terrible. It's really, and there was such a tumultuous thing going on too, because like they kept changing like how many episodes it was gonna be, and like it went on random week-long hiatuses, and I was like, what is going on at A1 Pictures over there? What the fuck is happening? And they shuffled around some important details in the cases, and they bastardized some of the really good cases that I was looking forward to them doing, and the whole thing was just a complete fucking mess. And that's 24 episodes of my life that I'm never gonna get back of a series that I should have really fucking loved, because Ace Attorney is the best. But what do they do? How could they do this to me? Like I can't even beatbox right now. I'm sad didgeridoo.
The
is
words
what
of a
you're gonna
broken
get.
man. I
No,
can't
it's-
even beatbox right now.
No,
Frank.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Frank, tell me about West Clownadelphia.
They're born and raised. They that wasn't in the anime, thank God. But sad face.
My favorite part is if you watch the meme subs.
Yeah.
Like eventually they just get to the point where they just say fuck it, and they're just saying, "Here, eat this miso burger."
Yeah. Yeah. She's laying in there. She's like, she got kidnapped in the last arc, and she's waiting in the basement, and she's like, man, I can really go for a good ramen burger right now. And it's like, why do they do this? Like, I hate it. I really do. It's so bad. Oh yeah, and like the clown is clearly eating noodles, and they're like, and he's like, oh man, what are you eating? He's like, oh man, I'm having this great ramen burger. You should try some. And it's like,
You're not fooling anyone.
they do it just to annoy me. I'm convinced, and it works 100%.
God.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, Jesus.
That's it for me.
Well, let's wash our mouths out of this bad anime shit and get on to the good anime.
All right.
Fuck.
So-
We're gonna round out this year in good times and high spirits.
Yet we're
Yep.
finally here. It's the best anime of the year award. And
Only took
Funk,
8 hours.
I gave Funk the honor of presenting this first, which he was completely ungrateful to, by the way.
Well, you didn't give me the best category in the world. Steve didn't give me the OPs and the EDs, but I'll take it. Anyway, best anime of the year. So I have a top 10 list ranked. We're going to start at the bottom. Number 10, Joker Game. And at this point, I don't have too much energy to go on about all these, so forgive my brevity. Number 10, Joker Game. Number 9, Mob Psycho 100.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, the Dark Horse Surprise Planetarian.
Mm.
Number 7, Yuri on Ice. Number 6, Osamatsu-san. Number 5, ReZero. Number 4, we're getting up there. Takakun wa Itsumo Kedaruge. Number 3, Hibike Euphonium 2.
Mm.
Alright, so that leaves two clear contenders for the top spot.
Gosh.
Who gets which?
Oh my gosh.
Number 2, Flip Flappers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
And number 1, the only 10 we had this year in a sea of 9s.
Jesus Christ.
Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju.
Gotcha.
Absolutely stellar show. And it earned that top spot. I will pass the baton. And who am I going to pass it to? Who am I going to pass it to but Matt?
Oh my god. Okay.
Popcorn.
So these two shows didn't make my top 10, but I really just have to give a shout out to both Flip Flappers and Yuri on Ice.
Really? Neither made your top 10?
No, because I mean they were very close, just a slur too close. But my God, Sakamoto was just too good. So number 10 has got to be Sakamoto Desuga. This show is fucking hilarious, and I laughed a lot at it. Even the like the special they did for it, like the 13th episode, basically. I watched that. Even though the first half was a recap, I still managed to just laugh my ass off at that too, because the show was just so funny that watching the scenes again just made me laugh again. And then the second half of the episode that was new material was still just fucking hilarious too. So a show that has a recap episode as a special that still manages to make me laugh that much, I think is deserving of something. Number 9 is actually going to be Real Life, which is a show we haven't really talked about much since it aired, but I really love this show.
I think that's the most solid show that we didn't mention at all tonight.
Yeah, it's just a really fantastic school dramedy, I guess you could call it, that's got a great cast of characters, a lot of funny moments, and it's just very solid overall. Number 8, My Hero Academia, just a great shonen show that doesn't really do anything new, but still manages to be a really fun show to watch. Number 7 is Konosuba, which was absolutely fucking hilarious as well, with a great cast of characters too. There's a kind of a common trend with all the comedies, which is also going to be repeated with Tanaka-kun at number 6, which again was hilarious, lots of cleverness to it, very comfy. All the characters were great, even the side characters were great. It was just a really cute, fun show that always put me in a good mood. Number 5, Ajin, which both the first and second core, which aired both this year, which were really fantastic. Just great, wild ride of a show that actually had its second half of it actually was mostly original material, which is very surprising how good it ended up being, despite being mostly original and completely diverging from where the manga is. Number 4 is Rakugo, which, I mean, we've pretty much said everything that needs to be said. I mean, if you really want to hear about everything that's great about Rakugo, just go to the podcast from last winter.
I mean, you might as well just watch it yourself at that point, though.
Might as well just watch it yourself, or just listen to Collin gush about it for like 40 minutes from last year. Number 3, which technically, I guess, began in 2015, but fuck it. The second core aired in 2016, and I don't give a shit because the second core is amazing. Osamatsu-san. Just hilarious show. And honestly, even if we just take out the first core entirely, this is still at number 3. If only for the wacky races and episodes 24 and 25. Number 2, High Bike Euphonium, season 2, which I actually remember. I remember recalling DL saying that like there was no way that the second season was going to be as good as the first, but it actually ended up being almost as good as the first. Really, the only flaw, the biggest flaw with season 2 of Sound Euphonium is that it's not season 1. It just doesn't have the same highs that season 1 had. I wouldn't say there was an episode that really ever reached the height of the episode where like the Yuri climax where Reina and Kumiko go up to the top of the hill during
their big gay hike.
The big gay hike. And she does the big touching nose thing. Like that whole scene really just made that show. Well, that was like the moment where I was like, yeah, this is something else.
Mm-hmm.
But the best show of the year, by far and large, the closest show to a 10 for me that did not get a 10, which I'm not really sure why I didn't give it a 10. I might actually rewatch it sometime to see if I should give it a 10, is Mob Psycho 100, which was just an absolute joy to watch. I've never watched a show that was as visually consistently interesting as this show was. It's just amazing in every way. And I guess I'll give the floor to let's give it to Kenny.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's give it to Kenny.
Give it
What are
to
your
him.
favorite shows of the year, Kenny?
Okay, I guess it's going to be a surprise. Love Life Sunshine. It's my favorite.
You gotta have a top 5, Kenny.
What?
You gotta have a top 5.
What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually have a top 6.
Yeah,
That's fine,
perfectly
too.
Fine, that's acceptable.
Yeah. So, Love Life Sunshine is my favorite. I'll just make it quick. Brave Witches is next. Gates, my next favorite. Izetta. New Game. And then Keijo.
Keijo. That's one that hasn't gotten brought up all night.
Wait, Keijo was your number 1?
No, Keijo was number 6. He went
He
reverse
did
one.
want
Oh,
the
okay.
6.
Gotcha.
So, that's it.
I will go next for my Keijo brother-in-arms here. So I made a top 15 as I do every year. And I'm not going to say stuff about every show on this list, but when we get in the top 10, I'll have more to say. So 15 is Planetarian. 14 is Sakamoto. 13 is Girlish Number. 12, and fuck you guys, it's Netoge.
Ew.
Wait.
Wait.
Why?
What are we waiting for? Not you, Kenny. You're
Okay.
cool. 11 is Keijo. 10 is New Game. And so moving inside of the top 10 now, we got number 9 is Relife. And I think, Matt, was it? You talked about this. You covered a lot of what makes the show good. But it was a very relatable show, I found. I think the only reason we maybe don't talk about it as much is because the kind of the weird way it was given to us, all at once, instead of just airing over the course of a season.
You don't get that.
I almost forgot to include it because of the way it aired.
Yeah, you don't get that nice kind of flow you get in a normal season of airing something.
Yeah.
It just kind of came out. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just watch it all.
But it absolutely handled a very interesting premise in a very mature way, which I was not expecting.
That is one thing. I can't compliment this show enough for being able to handle a subject like suicide as well as it did. It did it very maturely, which is very rare for shows like this. Really, like any slice of life kind of high school show.
Yeah. Number 8, and it's the number of Konosuba. It got an 8 from all of us. I did not intentionally put it at number 8, but that's where it ended up. Konosuba was, in my opinion, the funniest show of the year and exceeded all expectations, as we already talked about a lot in this podcast. Speaking of exceeding expectations, number 7 is Mob Psycho 100. And I say that because Collin could not have hyped this show up more if he tried than what he did prior to it airing. And I was always going to check it out, being someone who really loved One Punch Man. And I would say I didn't enjoy this show as much as One Punch Man, but I enjoyed it for entirely different reasons than One Punch Man. And I think that really speaks to the strength of one as an author. He can do 2 different things and have them succeed so well. Number 6 is Boku no Hero Academia, which is kind of an interesting show because despite being about superpowered heroes and stuff like that, you'd think I would have loved it more at the start, but it took me a few episodes to kind of warm up to the show. But once I did, it was just just a fantastic watch from I'd say about episode 3 straight through the end. Number 5 is Please Tell Me Galco-chan. And I gave this show a 9, which is by far the highest I've ever given any short anime ever. And I stand by that, and I stand by saying it's the closest thing I've ever gotten to another Lucky Star, which means a lot to me if you know what that show means to me. Number 4 is Shokugeki no Soma ni no Sara, the second season.
The second plate.
The second plate, yes. And that show, the second season, has just as much as the same stuff that I loved from the first season. I would say, we've talked about the way it kind of handles its ending, which is the same problem the first season had of just not ending on a great place. So I would say if you took the entire first season of Soma and then the first 10 episodes of the second season, if that was one show, that would probably be a 10 for me. Just how much I love Soma, but it did fall a bit because I don't think it handled necessarily with as much grace as it could have the way it was presented. Number 3 is Flip Flappers. It was a meme show based on the title, but is absolutely not a meme show for ending up this high on the list. This show is legitimately great in a way I don't think any of us could have ever expected. Number 2 is Re:Zero. A lot has been said about Re:Zero this year. I'm typically the one who gives the most credit to these kind of isekai shows. They don't bother me the same way they bother you. But this one, I think, is clearly the best one that has ever been made. I would struggle to think of ways in which this could have been better. So, yeah, not enough praise in the world for how this handled its gimmick. It was always fresh. It was always interesting. It always played with your expectations. And just fantastic show overall. But there was a clear number 1 this year.
Oh no! Oh, wait a second. Never mind. For a second there, I got scared. I thought when you said "but," I was like, "Where is this going?"
No, but there's a clear number 1 this year. By far and away, I think the best show of 2016, and that is Erased. And I will forever stand by the score of 10 I gave the show. I don't give out 10s easily. At the time, it was the first show I'd given a 10 in 4 years, which has since changed.
What else did you give a 10?
I recently gave a 10 to Haikyuu.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Which was also fantastic. But Erased is fantastic in a different way. There's nothing about this show I would change. I know the complaints that you guys and other people have levied against it, but none of those bothered me in any meaningful way. I love everything the show was about. I think the show had fantastic direction. It hit home to me in a way I was not expecting. Like the whole past stuff, despite being a different culture, was very nostalgic, which is very weird, and I struggle to kind of understand that, but that's kind of how I felt while watching it. But the whole ride from beginning to end was thrilling to me. I liked where that show ended up. I liked what it did with its characters. I think that show is a legitimate masterpiece. And like I said, I will stand by the score I gave it, and I will not back down. Erased is the best show of 2016.
Oh my god.
So, who hasn't gone yet? Frank?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And I don't
you're up.
think Colin didn't go, did he? Either.
I have not gone either yet.
Well,
Colin
we'll save
can
the best
close
for
us
last,
out.
then.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
All right.
Oh yeah, I remember. He's
oh my god. For a second, I thought Frank was giving off feedback until I realized what that was.
It's time.
The
for the
didgeridoo
best
of justice
anime
has been
of the
sounded.
year. Frank's list. I have a top 10 here. Starting from the bottom. Number 10, we got Planetarian. Not much I can say about this. It hasn't already been said. It's a fantastic short little show. Really gets the noggin jogging and the heartstrings going. Beautifully done. David Productions' second best work of the year. Number 9, we have Boku no Hero Academia. A really well done shonen show. So well done that Darklink7701 gave it a 10. Wow. Fantastic. But overall, a very solid work with likable characters, an interesting premise, and it's really thrilling to watch on a week-to-week basis. Very well done show overall. ReZero coming in at number 8. A bit of a slow burn coming in, but overall a show with a lot of merits. Really captivating cliffhangers at the end of every episode.
In some case, literally.
Yeah, that uses its time very wisely, especially with regards to how often it cuts out its OPs and EDs. I think someone actually kept track of just how much time we gained from the OPs and EDs being cut out, and it was like over an episode worth.
Yeah, it was significant.
Yeah, very very well done overall. I think the writing was great, the animation was very good, and it was a very solid work overall. Number 7, we got Kimi no Na wa, a show that I would probably put higher if I didn't watch that fucking 480p screener copy. But a cute rom-com with body swapping shenanigans and very nice artwork, though that was diminished by my screener copy. I feel kind of bad because I feel like I kind of soured the experience on it a little bit, but I really liked it. There's some parts where I felt kind of iffy about it because it failed to suspend my disbelief, but as I was watching it, I really enjoyed it. It was a solid work, but not the 10 that everyone was saying that it was.
I think if it's as good as it supposedly is, I think it'll still stand up when you watch the actual copy of it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I would definitely watch it again, but I still don't think it's a 10. Number 6, Rakugo. Very deep and stunning work. I'm really excited for the second season. I can't wait to see where it goes because I was very enamored with it. It was my secret show in winter 2016, and I definitely don't regret watching it because it was really good, contrary to what Steve says. Number 5, we got Love Live Sunshine, which, as I said, aggressively optimistic, a real feel-good show, one that builds upon your love of the first season and the characters in Muse and takes your love for them to whole new levels while making you fall in love with a new cast set in East Bumblefuck, which I really enjoyed. Number 4, Mob Psycho. Ton of love put into this show. It's really evident from the get-go, with really great character interaction, solid pacing, excellent choreography, art that's both really faithful to the source material while still being incredibly charming. Definitely worth a watch. I know we've been singing its praises all night, but it certainly deserves them. Number 3, Kizumonogatari Part 2, a phenomenal movie, miles ahead of any other Monogatari thing I've seen. Nisio Isin really kills it. Great characterization, phenomenal artwork. Shaft is a master at this shit. They really just knocked it out of the park here, and I can't wait for the third one. I honestly can't remember the last time I was this hyped for an anime movie with Kizumonogatari 3, but 2 was outstanding. Number 2, Euphonium 2. I agree with Matt in that the heights that it reached wasn't necessarily as high as the first season, though it's still an incredibly good piece of work. I still gave it the 9 because I felt like it absolutely deserved it. But for me, I know Matt was talking about how it didn't really reach the high bike big gay hike, but but for me, the height of when I first watched Euphonium, I gave it an 8. And then when I rewatched it, I got to the scene where Kumiko is screaming off the bridge saying, like, I want to improve. And that's just such a moment that just it resonated with me in such a great way. And the Euphonium 2 has a lot of really tender moments, especially with regard to the drama with her sister. None of them really reached that point for me. But overall, it's still a really, really great work with excellent sound direction, really great visual direction, beautiful artwork. The voice acting is outstanding. Like, I don't think anyone mentioned, like, there's a scene in episode 8 where, she's having an argument with her sister, and even the sister, she gives like the most like emotionally charged Urusei I've ever heard in my life. And this is coming from someone who watched all 3 seasons of Shakugan no Shana, and Shana literally says Urusei every 5 seconds. So, it really struck a chord with me in that regard. But overall, it didn't quite reach the first season, though it's almost there. It's really good. And number 1, to nobody's surprise, can we get a drum roll going?
No. God, don't enable him.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable.
I take it all back.
Sorry, I know first rule of the anime club is no JoJo.
Can JoJo ever do wrong in your eyes, Frank?
Well, I mean, maybe if it stops improving, like, when it's not number 1, then it won't do wrong. But like this season, it took the structure of part 3, which I really loved, and improved on it by implementing this sort of bizarre slice of life setting going into it, because it takes place in this kind of suburban 1999 town, and it kind of ditches the monster of the week format in favor of one that's a little more like, if actual people had stands and they weren't using them as like assassins, like how would they use them in their everyday life? And I think that take was really interesting because it gets into, like, they're chasing down this serial murderer, and he has this thing for hands and shit, and like, then he uses another stand user to like conceal his identity, and then his stand is Killer Queen, and it has the ability to like turn anything it touches into a fucking bomb, but like the bomb like doesn't make a sound, or like normal people who can't see stands can't see the explosions, so all these people are disappearing without I can't even explain. It's so fucking good. Like, and the fights, of course, the choreography and the fights are great. The characters are all really likable. The stands are so fucking creative. I've never seen anything that takes so much originality. Like, it's I guess JoJo really can't do anything wrong in my eyes. It's fucking great. Like, I'm so in love with it. It's really an outstanding piece of shonen fiction, and I love it to bits. I'm sorry. I know I sound like a fucking tool, but it's very good. And they don't do the gay poses as much as you think they do.
There's nothing wrong with the gay poses. No, I would never criticize the gay poses.
I know.
I mean, I may have on occasion.
Yeah, it kind of become a meme this year. Is
But
this a JoJo reference?
But and the openings are fucking great. The one thing I hate are the Crunchyroll meme subs, because they do the shitty fucking localizations of the stand names. So like the main guy's stand name is Crazy Diamond, and they localize it as Shining Diamond, and it's fucking awful. And the main villain's name, I just said, it's Killer Queen, and they localize that as Deadly Queen. But he also has two other stands too. One of them is Sheer Heart Attack, and the other one is Another One Bites the Dust, and those get changed to Heart Attack and Bites the Dust. So it's not as bad as it could be. Anyway, to Collin, I guess, where he will wrap us up.
Oh, jeez. If you were expecting me to articulate myself well, I'm going to disappoint you because we've been on for nearly 9 hours.
Yeah, it's been quite some time.
As you can see, like I've been delivering a couple of tired laughs for the past.
That's the best
couple of
we can
minutes.
hope for at this point.
Yeah. So, at number 10, I have Fune wo Amu, which is not something I really got an opportunity to talk about tonight. I'm the only one who watched it. Matt watched the first episode. I would have put it somewhere in the honorable mentions or like runner-ups in most artistic anime of the year because it really is a gorgeous show with great character animation and some really great, I guess, dream sequences as well. It's actually quite a beautiful show. A little too on the saccharine side, but still very solid. At number 9, we have Erased, which I've poked a little bit of fun at during this podcast. But I guarantee you, it is just a really solid show. I think the real star of this show is the atmosphere. It feels,
I agree 100%.
The world of Erased feels very tangible. You can tell that this comes like the way the guy structured the world or the town, I guess.
Where only he is missing.
Yes, where only he is missing. The way the author structured it, it definitely came from a place a place he knew, place he really felt close to and familiar with, and you feel that sense of safety in the town and how terribly it's violated. And I really enjoyed the show despite its flaws. And boy, those flaws sure are apparent, kids. And at number 8, we have Boku no Hero Academia, which this introduction to the show is really, really solid. I've gone on ahead and read the manga, and it just gets better and better.
It's such good news.
Yeah, it really is. Omega described this perfectly. It's like Naruto, but with all the autism trimmed away.
As someone who just finished watching the first season of Naruto, I can totally vouch for that. Like,
Yeah, right.
Kind
It's
of.
just such a great amalgamation of everything Shonen has ever strived for.
Yeah.
And then just making it the tightest story possible.
It definitely
And
feels
number
like a shonen for the modern age, right? Like,
It really is. It really is. Yeah. At number 7, we have Re:Zero, which was a show that had me posting a Cookie Monster every week for 25 weeks.
You may have taken a week off.
Yeah, I
somewhere.
may have taken a week or two off, either due to lateness or just forgetting to post my Cookie Monster. I believe there was one that outright did not require a Cookie Monster.
Just one.
That's a testament to how well the show keeps you engaged the whole time. And as I went over in detail, the show has many of the same flaws that its genre typically has. And no, it's not a fucking deconstruction. But despite that, the story moves at such a pace for me that I was never not interested in what was going to happen next. And it was all generally very well handled. At number 6, I have one of the shows I had already cited as being better than Re:Zero when I closed the book on Re:Zero. And that was the show that beat Re:Zero the first season it aired. and that's Tanaka-kun. This is peak comfy, kids, and perhaps it is dangerously comfy, as Steve has pointed out. It knows not its power level, but it's a really hysterical show. That's just pleasant to watch, and it's almost a show. This and the next show are both shows that I would agree to watch immediately after completing them. And the next show is Konosuba, which is absolutely best comedy I saw all year. Well, I mean, Osamatsu was also this year, but it is not on my list. That'll be in the second half of Osamatsu. But Konosuba has just fantastic character writing, where everyone just comes on so strong. It never forgets how a character would react to this situation, to whatever situation they find themselves in, and then it plays with that by putting them at odds with one another, or contrasting one with, or making them bounce off one another, and it works perfectly every time. And there was never in its short 10-episode run, and it's a fucking crime that it was 10 episodes. But thankfully, we're getting another season.
Right now,
it never failed to make me laugh. So at number 4, I have Betrayed Myself, as I predicted this possibility in the last podcast when I was listing my top 3 shows of the season. I haven't gone back and listened to it, but I think I listed this show above the next show. And this show is Flip Flappers at number 4. And this show is gorgeous, and it tackles so many different genres in its own little magic girl corner. And I don't even think it's just a genre thing, but it has so many. It tells different stories as well, you know. Well, different feeling stories, you know. Like I wouldn't say Grandma with Alzheimer's is a genre unto itself, you know.
Are you kidding me?
But not only that is that in contrast to other episodic shows, Flip Flappers mostly sticks the landing for its finale. Or at least episodic shows that try to have a proper finale. Episodic shows that are like, well, the adventure continues. That's fine if they choose to leave off on that note. But episodic shows that end with like a definitive finale almost always blow it. And Flip Flappers dedicated 4 of its final episodes just to the main plot. And its main plot is sprinkled throughout all of the previous 9 episodes. So, great job there. And at number 3, we have the usurper of the best fall anime from Flip Flappers. And that is Euphonium 2, which has everything I liked about the previous season, except maybe, and this might be, and we talked about how this is part of it being a second season, but feeling like it was just the direct continuation of right where we left off. Mm-hmm. And that's that the introduction feels a little weak in comparison to everything else.
I can agree with that. Everything
from episode 5 on is 9 to 10 out of 10. And it's just high quality all throughout, and it's beautiful. And it's it's a show that I would definitely like to recommend to many people. But I'm always gonna someone's always gonna come back to me like, it's kind of weird how lesbian they are. Don't you think that's kind of weird that they're so lesbian, but they're like straight? And that's the response I'm gonna get every time.
I mean,
by the way, Shoe's my guy. Shut the fuck up, Frank.
Not my guy. Hashtag.
Our guy.
Everyone remove Kiku from best character of the year list. Choose the best character of the year. We all know this.
Yep. Get him out.
Okay. There's a cat meowing outside. I'm gonna get to that after I'm done here. But these last two shows, I had such a difficult time actually organizing one over the other. Because last year I gave it to Prison School for doing something with the medium that I could only really imagine being done as an anime. And
but they did it as a live action show.
yeah, and it was not as good. And I'm trying to reconcile how I do something basically that's the exact opposite in this year, where no matter how many times I try to debate myself over this, Rakugo comes out on top of Mob. And Rakugo is something that does not benefit from being an anime whatsoever. Rakugo is just a story that speaks to me in such a poignant way. Whereas Mob takes some strong source material and makes it even stronger through animation. And it's some of the most incredible work I've seen to date. And that's where the animation enhances the storytelling. When that scene where they're flying around fighting I guess I could describe quite a few episodes of Mob, but when they're flying around fighting with Teru, Ritsu, and then the Claw guys, and you feel the the desperation escalating, and that's because the animation is getting more and more frantic. Like, that's great visual storytelling that takes exactly what the idea right off the panel. Whereas Rakugo is just a much quieter story that is it's just something that's really beautiful that I think I'll carry with me for a very long time. And I think that's staying power, where maybe I'm far less likely to revisit Rakugo than I will Mob. But at the same time, it's going to stay in my mind in a way, and it's going to affect me in a way that Mob never will. So I'm gonna have to concede defeat to Rakugo. Rakugo has defeated the entire medium of anime and superseded Mob as the #1 anime of the year for me.
So the question becomes, is it going to repeat? And we'll revisit that in a year's time.
Yes.
But I agree. It did win 2016. Came in right at the beginning, and nothing topped it.
Nothing topped it.
Is that everybody?
I guess.
I believe
I guess
so.
that's
We may have actually done this.
We
Wow.
finished the podcast? No fucking way.
Wow.
Yay! Now I get to go to bed and wake up in 3 hours.
Who's here?
I am here for some
I'm
reason.
here.
Kenny?
Here.
Ugh.
Who's going to want to kill himself at work tomorrow here?
Me.
Not me, because I'm house sitting. So
Maybe the cats are gonna want to kill you.
Oh,
I mean,
my.
You ignored them for like 10 hours.
I didn't ignore them, by the way. Okay, I got up several times during the OPED discussion to go tend to the cats.
Kill yourself, man. What's the final time, Steve?
We're at like over 7 hours.
Wonderful.
Total runtime.
Have fun, Omega.
Whoops.
Like, I'm gonna release it like in 3 parts over the course of several days, so he'll have time.
Is that
Yeah.
a record? Is that a record?
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And you can't even blame it on me.
No,
Kind
we can't. We can't.
There was a lot to talk about. So
I'm glad I was a part of this. So
We're glad you came with us, Kenny, and you didn't just ditch us or not show up or pretend it wasn't today.
All right, guys. So same time next year.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was so tired. I can't believe my voice is so tired right now.
Yeah, we're all pretty shot right now.
Yeah. Hold on though. Hold on. We got to stay on until it's 9 hours. Until I hit the 9-hour mark.
Until 9 hours. That's in like an hour and
I'm not staying up for another hour.
No. For me and Steve, it's 1 minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
we've been on Skype for like 9 hours.
for the call.
Yeah.
I'm at 8:59 as well.
Oh. Okay.
So for 50 something seconds, who's hopeful for next year of anime?
We're gonna have some fun discussions about Attack on Titan.
So, yo,
Season 2.
how
Oh my
about
gosh,
that
we are gonna. I'm gonna get the chance to talk about Attack on Titan. This
How
is
about
so
Fully
crazy. I
Cooley?
feel like I've come so far.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause
I
I-
still have my doubts if Fooly Cooley will ever come out. It just
That's
Yeah.
true.
it feels like it could be like some kind of production disaster, or
Maybe.
they have second thoughts or something.
I kind of, part of me kind of, like, if that does happen, that might actually be a bit of a relief.
So you don't have to face the reality of a bad Fully Cooley.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it
don't have to
won't
face-
ruin the first one.
Yeah, I don't really
It won't.
necessarily get those opinions.
It
of,
won't. It won't, but...
like
it'll
unless
still...
it retroactively changed something about the story.
No, I mean, there's no way it will, because it's not
Do you
like...
feel like it would be a bigger relief if it were bad or if it were mediocre?
Would anyone be happy with mediocres? If it's bad, you can at least complain about it on
Yeah.
a podcast.
Yeah.
or
If it's
something.
mediocre, then I would just be really disappointed. If it's
Oh.
bad, then
Okay, it's been a minute.
I don't know.
It has been a minute. Anyone can leave anytime they want now.
Well, we have to
Kenny,
end
what
we have to end the podcast, right?
No, the
We haven't-
podcast is over.
We
It
haven't
stopped
said good.
recording.
We didn't say goodbye.
No, it's still recording.
Oh my
Yeah, we-
god, really?
Yeah,
It is
yeah, we didn't.
recording?
Yeah, we didn't say
I
goodbye.
didn't actually say goodbye.
We have to say goodbye. We can't.
You forgot to
Shit.
say goodbye.
I'm sorry, I completely forgot
Wow,
that.
that would have been so rude.
Good thing you didn't say anything super racist.
Wait,
Yeah, I know.
you're assuming that as soon as we get off the podcast, I'm just throwing out racial slurs everywhere.
But you always do.
Yeah,
What
no,
are you
it's like...
talking about?
I was like,
Okay,
I mean, you're not as bad as Matt, but
Matt says it on the podcast.
All
I
right.
just don't care, because no one's
Okay.
going to listen to this anyways until,
So-
I actually, like, run for something important.
Say goodbye, everybody.
hey, I'm actually leaving when.
Goodbye,
Say
everybody.
goodbye.
Bye.
bye.
Yeah.